It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good morning for Wednesday, March 27th. Rock and roll hoochie coo. Come on.
Don't get enough of opportunities to say Lordy Mama.
No, you don't, Lordy Mama, but we could start working that. That could be a Wednesday greeting. Lordy
Okay.
Mama, Tony.
Lordy Mama.
Lordy Mama, Candace.
Lordy Mama.
Lordy Mama, Brian.
Piss off. No,
Yeah, there
Lordy
you go.
No. Lordy Mama.
Rick Derringer, if you're going to be, ultimately considered a one-hit wonder, at least have a good hit. That's just
I love that song.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah.
He doesn't. He rewrote it as a Christian song later in life. True story.
Really?
He's a Christian artist, and he has performed Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo with a whole new set of lyrics for years.
Yeah.
I think
ain't
Lordy
making-
Lordy
Jesus.
Mama.
I'm not making that up.
Wow.
I would love to be able to provide you with some of those new lyrics, but I trust me, I looked. I couldn't find them. But yeah, hey, he found the Lord, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever works for you, man.
Yeah, whatever gets you through the day, right?
That's exactly the truth right there. What do we got going on today? I pulled into the station today, and as I do on a regular basis, I parked in a little place I call my spot.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it's not been given to me. Nobody said, Steve, park here every day.
Yeah.
But I just started, 15, 16 months ago, I just started parking there. Mm-hmm. And in the entire time I've been here, now the good thing about coming in so early is we pretty much get the run of the place. Mm-hmm. But on occasion, there's a car in that spot, which means I have to park like literally 4 feet away. And I'll just come straight out with it. This is just me being me. It pisses me off. Like, no, I'll be like, who the hell is that? And it's never Tony's car. It's never Candace's car. It's never Zepp's truck. I don't know who it is. But every now and again, and it's once every 2 months, there'll be a car there. And I just stare at it like, who? What? Who?
Yeah.
Why?
What gives you the right?
And then I have noticed on occasion, Tony, and I haven't, I guess this is the time to call it out. You occasionally do park in front of that sign that says Employee of the Month, and that pisses me off.
That's my spot.
Because I'm like, well, why are you the Employee of the Month? I haven't seen that designation once since I got here.
Nope, that is absolutely my spot.
Check the board.
It just pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? What is that? Why are we like this? Why do I? Because it's not just me. Obviously, everybody's like, yeah.
Right. Mine. It goes back to the toddler years, right? One of the first things when we can grab something, it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
That's primordial maybe, and we never really shake it. We mature our way out of it to a degree. But you're right. If I come in and someone else is in my spot, it rankles me, or even if I see that for some reason Tony is parked in a different spot, I'm like, what's going on there? What's happening here?
It's like, what's happening?
What's Tony? All right today, buddy? Anything you want to talk about? Everything okay at home with the kids and Rach?
True.
And so I don't know. Mine, it's irrational, but it does bug me.
I guess I do park in the same spot every
Yeah,
day.
you do. Well, you park in one of two spots. Yeah, but they're right next to each other. I'm well aware of it. And in fact, until you just said that, no, you're right. I am. I didn't realize I am aware of where everyone else parks. And when Tony's not in the Employee of the Month spot, I think it's weird. You just said it's primordial. I remember at a little preschool age function when our son Connell, he was like 2.5 or maybe 3. And there was this little preschool in our neighborhood. We lived in L.A., and there was this crazy old French lady ran the joint. And she would have a great accent, and she would make fun of American parents, and you saw, and she made us all feel stupid, but she was brilliant. And there was one time when somebody asked their child to share, and she goes, share? He's 3 years old. He does not understand share. And she went into this whole thing, and she goes, no, they understand taking turns. They don't understand sharing. Do you not know the difference? And I was like, man, that's good stuff. Because you're just, we're born with coding, and sharing ain't in the code, but taking turns is. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it was a good point. So anyway, I'm parked where I like to be today. And not only did I park in my spot today, I backed in. I show parked.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even know
weird.
why. I don't even know why I did it, but I felt good. And I know people who hate it when other people back into parking. I have a friend in Nashville who literally is like, I hate people that back into spaces. It drives me crazy. And I'm like, just because you have a spatial shortcoming and you can't do it yourself. And I was backing into spaces before there was, cameras and stuff. Just give me 2 mirrors and I'm good.
I have a hard time with it.
No, I love a good show park, man. Especially out at night. You can just get out of there no matter where I'm at a concert or a movie theater, bowling alley, show park it, and then just go, man. These are the things that make me feel good about myself.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't do that all the time, but sometimes I just will. I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, I'm backing her in today. I'm just, maybe I
Feels
need
good.
a quick getaway. Yeah,
Feels
it does
good.
feel good. Now I'm thinking about things that I take irrational ownership of. Mine. I've got a couple more. I've got another one that comes to mind. Let's save it.
I'm not surprised to hear that about you, Brian Zepp.
Hang tight. I'll tell you all about it here about 6:17. Hang tight.
Be right back. The KQ Morning Show.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Wednesday, March 27th. Keep on Loving You by REO Speedwagon. I'm so on the fence about this one. Kevin Cronin was married for several years, and his wife came to him and said, I have to confess, I had an affair a couple years ago. It's been over for a while, but I can't live with the guilt. And his response after dealing with his emotions was okay, well, thanks for telling me. I'm still in love with you. And he wrote the song, I'm going to keep on loving you, after that fact. And I think to myself, oh, what a great guy. Or stooge. And it depends on my mood as to which way I feel about that one. Now, granted, the marriage didn't last long term anyway. And she ultimately, I'm sure, walked away with a good bit of the money he made from writing that hit song. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to come up with a decision. I'm not here to weigh in. I'm just here to tell you, I waffle back and forth on what I think of that.
Yeah, right there with you. Yeah, there's a couple of lines in there. I was just singing along with the tune. I'm like, I've been singing along with this song since 1982. But there I was belting it out here in Studio Z. And I get to that line where he's like, all about all those other men, but it doesn't matter. And I'm thinking, I'm singing it, but I'm not selling it. I'm not that big of a dude.
Yeah.
Sorry. Maybe I've never loved that one enough or someone enough that much. I don't know, but I'd have a tough one. Or maybe if I was put to the test in my current relationship, I'd pass on that level. But yeah. I'm no Kevin Cronin.
No.
I'm more of a Mick Jagger, I think.
I think so.
Unfortunately.
I like Studio Z. It just reminded me that the often overlooked B-52's classic Channel Z, but that's a story for another day.
Oh, that channel.
Yeah, we were talking about the things we just take ownership of, like my parking space, which is sacred to me and matters to me.
Yeah.
But, Zepp, you said you had a few others. You were thinking back, like, actually, the more I think about it,
You know what just popped into my head when we were talking about that irrational ownership? Anyone can have any parking spot, at work, but you want yours. And that is, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but when I go into the bathroom, I want my stall. I have my stall, and I
Really?
don't like if someone's in my stall and one of the other stalls is empty, the other stall here, I'll just 180 and just head on out of there. And what's more is I won't go back until I'm sure that seat is kind of cooled off. I want to start fresh. But I want my stall at work. That's pretty weird, I guess.
I don't have bathroom issues like that generally, except I don't want to sit on a warm toilet seat. I'll grant you that.
No, unless it's at home with the wife
sure,
or whatever. Yeah,
sure.
sure, absolutely. And then it's kind of nice.
Yeah, I appreciate
to rush
the
in there on
warm-up.
a cold winter morning. But yeah, I know. I don't know. I can't be the only one like that. If you're weird about your parking spot, you want your stall. I don't know if it translates to the urinal, which is celebrating a birthday today. I read for some reason.
Oh, the urinal?
Yeah.
Or your ability to urinate?
No. 1866, Andrew Rankin received a patent for the urinal. There it is, 158 years ago. Anyway, I'm digressing because that's what I do.
Just so you know, if I'd gone to high school with a guy named Rankin, his nickname would have been File. Make no mistake about it. Tony, you look deep in thought over there.
Well, I started thinking about the bathroom thing, and let's see if I can articulate this because it bothers me.
I love when Tony has to take a moment to set it up with. Let me see if I can make sense of this.
Yeah, I'm like, am I that weird? Okay, you go
Yes.
like into the men's room, and there's a guy in the stall,
Sure.
and he's just finished his business, and he just opens the door and pops right out and comes out, and hi, how's it going?
Yeah.
I can't do that. I don't know if it's this sense of shame or you want to pretend like you're not doing anything in there.
I made a boom.
I have to wait until the people have left.
I
don't want
try
to come out
wait
and make
unless-
eye contact.
Yeah, I do that too, but unless they're taking a long time.
I
I'm not
made
just,
a boom.
but I don't like that either. I don't like making contact with people in the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
Hold on. We're talking about people that we otherwise see all the time around the
Right.
clock at work. But you're telling me if you're in the men's room and you are in a stall and you are in a seated position taking care of business, and you hear someone else outside the stall, you will just wait them out.
Yeah.
You're like in
I
a
do
deer
that too.
stand all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't want to come out and go, hi.
And Candace, you're the same way.
Yeah, they know what I'm doing in there.
You don't
They
wanna
probably
own your
listen
stink.
to this show. I'm not.
We
What
can
do
see
they
your
think I'm
shoes.
doing in there?
We can see you in there with your flip-flops on, Candace.
I tell you what,
and your bare feet.
I do appreciate. I do appreciate, and it's only I only notice this like at airports, but I do appreciate the bathroom stall walls that go all the way to the floor. Because that way you don't see shoes. That is something in every workspace they should have. Because that shoe thing, and I don't think about it. And okay, here's the thing: if I walk into the men's room, and I look and see a pair of shoes, which you can do. The one here that I use, you walk right in, and the angle of the approach and all that, you can't help but notice if there's shoes. I mean, there's a high gap from the floor to the bottom of the stall wall. But here's the thing. If I see a pair of shoes and I immediately recognize who that belongs to, I don't care. I don't think about it for one more second. I just go about my business. But to your point, I'm now realizing it. I have been in there myself. And it's the days if I'm wearing like my Birkenstocks, I'm like, they know it's me. And I didn't even realize that until you said that. I was like, oh, wait, I have felt that shame of I'm going boom.
For some reason, I don't know if it's a back to nature, this primordial thing again that we've been talking about, but I don't like to, I will come out if someone's in there, whatever. I don't seem to have that hang up, but my hang up is if I'm starting the wiping process, I'll pause while someone comes in to pee real quick. I don't know if I just want to be that vulnerable where I'm wiping right next to the urinal there.
Yeah.
John checking in this morning. I have my own spot, and it's a well-known at work, pretty much the same time every day. It's the clowns that grab the stall next to you, recognize your shoes, and start a conversation that stop your progress.
Don't chat.
I'm just reminding myself, this is bringing it back. I used to do a sports talk show, Steve Gorman Sports, or as I call it, Sports. And my cousin Jeffrey was my co-host, and we, of course, are cousins and family, and we have a whole level of shtick that goes well beyond the average working place environment. And he used to do this thing. We did it, I guess, together. But if we were ever in our building, our radio building back, this is a decade ago in Nashville, there was a lot of studios, a lot of stations in the same building. So you'd walk into the men's room, and there would be any number of people in there. But if either one of us were in a stall, and the other guy's like out washing his hands, and a third party enters the bathroom, he would immediately launch into as if we're having a conversation, and he'd go like, I just thought she was going to be the one. And I'd be in the stall going, dude, listen, you're just going to have to, as if we're knee deep in our gut-wrenching conversation. Or if we were both in a stall, it didn't matter. It was always like, and we just love the idea of people like, those guys from that sports show were in there. One of the guys just broke up with his girl, and they're talking about it, and they're taking dumps. I mean, that was good shtick. But to your point, but other people that aren't your cousin or aren't close coworkers, when they, hey man, how's it going? And you're in there, it's like, that is weird. I like I said, as I said at the beginning, I don't have bathroom hangups, and now I'm realizing I got a few.
Yeah.
The more you think about it, you're like, I got some quirks.
They exist in there. This topic might not be done, but we've got to move on for now. We've got Mike Evans' Hollywood Report coming here quickly. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS. The KQ Morning Show is back. 92 KQRS.
You heard the man. The KQ Morning Show is back, and it's time for the Mike Evans Hollywood Report.
Hey, good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Steve, the lovely Candace, and Zap, Tony, everybody. So how many driving to work right now actually took yesterday part of the day off and went to Marcus Theaters to see a movie? Only $6. They do it every Tuesday. If you didn't do it yesterday, do it next week. $6 only at Marcus Theaters. Early movie review. Now, you're going to have to wait till May 31st because that's when Ezra will open nationwide. But try to see it that weekend. What a great story about an autistic boy. By the way, his grandfather is played by Robert De Niro. Father played by Bobby Cannavale, one of my favorite actors. The boy's mother is played by Rose Byrne. Perhaps the most amazing performance in this movie is by the young newcomer, the boy who has autistic problems, ASD, William Fitzgerald. Also starring in this movie, Whoopi Goldberg and Rainn Wilson from The Office. A heartbreaker, a comedy, and it's also a road movie as well. May 31st, 100 minutes, 4 stars for Ezra. Now back to Hollywood news. No surprise that Pete Davidson has quit his television show, Bupkis. No surprise because Bupkis was Bupkis. It's terrible. Interesting, Saturday Night Live has been offering Pete several dates to come back and host Saturday Night Live, but says he's not interested. It's no secret that Pete has had some mental issues. He's admitted that he has borderline personality disorder and has been getting treatment. Pete is currently shooting a movie called Riff Raff with Bill Murray, as well as the movie The Pickup with Eva Longoria and Eddie Murphy. He has also agreed to do a movie co-starring Orlando Bloom about 2 unlucky beach bar owners. All 3 are comedies. We wish Pete Davidson the best. Oh, while all the speculation was going on, what's happened to Kate Middleton when she disappeared? People were worried. However, Prince Harry didn't call his brother or his dad, King Charles, or anybody in England to inquire about his brother's wife. Now that we know that she's suffering from cancer, Harry says, well, hey, I heard about her cancer on TV like everybody else. What is wrong with that guy? Nice family. Talk to you tomorrow. Mike Evans, see ya.
I'm endlessly fascinated by this is not Mike Evans. This is like a whole lot of people, and I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes we still discuss the Windsors, the royal family of England, as if there's a single thing about them relatable or otherwise reasonable or normal. They are born to a bubble planet. They have no concept of normal anything. No. Anything at all. And we still are like, why are they acting that way? They're like an alien species. My God. It's it's fascinating. It's good for the popcorn. You know, I like watching National Geographic specials. It's like I feel like Marlon Perkins would have a better chance of explaining the grooming techniques of the Wahuhu monkeys. I mean, that's like talking about the Windsors to me. Look at the way they pick those ticks off each other. If you showed me footage of Harry taking ticks off of William's feet, that would seem just as normal. Honestly, like if he balls up and plays dead when his grandmother would enter like an opossum, I'd be like, oh, that checks out. They're just like they're not normal people. They're completely bizarre. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's they're an oddity. It's and they're the last real royal family on the planet that's still kicking it.
With any
old
cachet.
School.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, kind of old school. But, I mean, it's, we have the Kardashians.
These are people who, when they're children, like, there's a guy in that palace, I guarantee you, who's like, have you checked the prince's poo? Yes, I went through it with a fork. And they're just, this is not normal stuff. The fact that they seem on any level relatable is just requires so much work on their part. Wait, you're telling me these men in this factory, they're here every day? You know, they're constantly showing up at like a belt factory in Sheffington, Ping Hill, Dutney, these weird towns, and like, Prince William stopped by and said hello to the chaps. And he leaves and he gets in the car and he's like, these men, they're here every day. And they get paid money to make belts.
Smashing.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Could I have some more money, please?
It goes back to some, there was, what was his, did the smoking, and the gray hair and always had his legs pulled to the old talk show. Tom Snyder.
Oh, sure.
That Snyder's old show.
Fair enough.
Had Prince Charles on. Remember that back in the 80s when he had Prince Charles on for a cup of coffee and asked him, put a can of peas or something like that, corn perhaps, on the counter, proper English can of peas on the counter, and said, how much does that cost? He goes, I wouldn't know. I'd say probably about 10 pounds. 10 pounds. No, I mean, the time was like $15 or whatever. He's like, no, not even close.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
29 cents, but thanks for playing,
Yeah,
Chuck.
I told him the price. He's like, really? Well, that's smashing, isn't it? Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, that's great.
That means that much at all.
That means those men in the belt factory can afford their peas. Wonderful.
Yes,
wonderful.
Brilliant. Pip, pip.
Excuse me, Tom. Do you have any camembert? All right, let's look back. Enough of this royal talk. How about a quick history lesson?
I like to learn new things.
Yeah, me too.
You may begin now.
Hey, Steve.
Oh, what happened in sports history on this day? March 27th, 1902, a team that had previously been known as the Chicago Orphans, the Chicago Colts, and the Chicago Remnants finally was referred to as the Chicago Cubs. That's right. They were initially called the Chicago Orphans. That's a
Weird.
odd mascot, isn't it? Please, sir, could I have some more? It's like just a series of orphans as your mascots running around the stadium asking for handouts. I think Cubs
Picking
was
your
a good
pockets.
move. Yeah, Cubs was a good move. On this day in 1998, the Chicago Bulls beat the Atlanta Hawks. That was not unusual for the time. What was unusual is it was the final regular season game for Michael Jordan and those Bulls in Atlanta, and everybody was thinking it would be the last time Jordan would play there. So they moved the game from the Omni downtown to the Georgia Dome. A regular season NBA game played in front of 62,000 people, and I was one of those 62,000 people. Oh. And let me tell you, if there'd been 162,000 seats, they would have sold them. Michael Jordan in a regular season game selling out stadiums in 1998. I mean, it was literally the equivalent of Taylor Swift's tour that last year with the Bulls.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Wednesday, March the 27th is the date today. Good morning. 1 hour from now, approximately, sort of, we're giving away wrestling tickets. So be cool.
Cool, man. I love wrestling.
I know you do, Candace, but you are ineligible to win.
What the heck?
Yeah, you can. You can help us give them away, but you can't win, sister, so back off. We'll give you all the details. We'll let you know when to get yourself involved, but that's going to be pretty exciting. And we've got a new game to play, and that's exciting. But for right now, speaking of games to play, well, the big one's over. And I'm as disappointed as anybody listening to me right now is that I am not a billionaire today.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I know. I know it's not going to happen. I tell myself it's not going to happen, and I can't prevent myself from being a skosh disappointed.
I still, you know what? When you said that, and then during the break, I looked, and I even looked like, well, maybe I won everything, but the big. Maybe there's
right.
a $1 million winner in Minnesota, and I'll check my ticket. Nope, no, not one here. Nonsense.
Yeah, they do have 13 other tickets in yesterday's drawing. That at least 1 million by matching the 5
13
balls.
People won $1 million yesterday.
In California, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and no, that's it. Shoot.
Well, I always feel so dumb when I get 0 numbers whatsoever.
Right? Like it's some sort of test, right? Like there's skill involved. Like not one number. What am I doing wrong?
I bought lottery tickets for years. I had two numbers and the Powerball once, and it was like $50. I mean, it was. You know, in my mind, I'm like, well, that's probably going to be $1,000, or it was like maybe it was $16. It was nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? I've never gotten close to where you're raising an eyebrow. Like 4 numbers on one guy.
Oh my God!
No way! I'd lose my mind.
I'd frame that. Yeah, I would. Yeah, it would. I'd be bragging about it for some dumbass reason. By the way, $537.5 million lump payout on that bad boy.
Anybody else, when you do check your numbers, do you think, well, thank God I didn't get like 4 out of the 6 because I'd hate to blow that and not win it all? Like in my mind, if I ever do have 4 numbers or even 3 numbers, then I'll be like, well, then I'll never win it now.
Yeah, right. Like you're right. Who gets 4 and then does? And now I'm going to go back to 0. You're right. Because the 1 million would, no one's retiring on that. But gosh, that sure would get me healthy.
Oh, it'd feel great, wouldn't it? I'm always blown away by, and you see this every now and again, multiple lottery winners, meaning somebody who won it once and then a couple years later won it again. And I'm not freaking out about the math and the 1 in 26 quadrillion chances of someone winning twice. I'm just blown away by somebody who wins a few mil and then ever buys another lottery ticket.
Right.
Like, I get having habits Like, you bite your nails, and so you keep biting your nails. But if your habit is buying a lottery ticket and then you win $10 million and continue to buy lottery tickets, I do have to wonder if you're okay.
It's not fair.
I would if I won millions of dollars, I would never be in a situation to buy another lottery ticket. I'd literally hire a guy just to go get gas in my car. Go fill the gas up.
Would you hire me?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, be my gas gal.
All right.
Yeah,
You
those
already are. On the one hand,
Whoa, man.
just a
I thought
joke.
we were friends.
It was a joke.
Yeah,
It was
well,
a joke. This incense is here because I like it.
Yeah, he's still stinging a little bit because he didn't win the lottery. Candace, give him some room, some space to vent. I forget what the name of the show was, but it's The Lottery Ruined Our Lives. That was a short-lived show there for, I don't know, like 5 episodes. And and they just piss you off. Like, well, and then people just came. I'm like, I just want to choke you. Give me your money. I'll show you how it's done right.
I know. I can't stand that.
But the one guy said that he blew tens of thousands of dollars on lottery tickets after he won, and his was like $20 million. And then he was broke in 2 years. $20 million. I don't know what the payout was or the specifics, but all the millions of dollars, broke 2 years later, and he had spent tens and tens of thousands of dollars to try to get that rush back to win it. No sympathy for you.
Oh, no, none. No. That's completely insane. I mean, rule number 1, as always, never tell anyone.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously, the fewer people, I know I've said this, but like, there was one of these lotteries was huge last year, and my son called. He goes, "Hey, I bought a Powerball ticket." I was like, "There you go, way to waste that $2, but just take a minute and think about how cool it'd be." But then we actually had a conversation, like a legitimate, well, what if I do win? He goes, because this is weird. I literally kind of think I'm going to win. I go, yeah, I know. Me too. I always think I'm going to win. And we're laughing at the absurdity of it. But I said, you have to put your hand on your heart and promise me, if you win, you never tell us. So you tell me and Mom, and then we go into the cone of silence, and we never, ever, 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 ever tell anyone we won this money. And he's like, why? And I'm like, can you imagine how screwed up your life would be if it got out that you won $100 million or much less $500 million?
Right. Be sure to tell him how much you love him, and he's your favorite.
Exactly. Well,
always has been.
Yeah, no question about it.
Yeah.
But so, it's like you said, Zep, $1 million ain't going to change your life, but boy, it'd make you feel pretty darn good it wouldn't make you're not necessarily rich and you're not going to retire necessarily. Some people would, but I'm saying it's not like,
if you're there,
$1 million compared to like the billion is nothing. But that said, let me ask you a question. I offer you $1 million right now. No strings attached. Here's a check. It's $1 million. You're gonna have to pay taxes on it, so call it $650,000. I don't know, $700,000.
Ballpark.
Guarantee, 100%. You want it, or I'll offer you $1 billion, which is 1,000 times as much money, but you only have a 75% chance of the check clearing. Do you go? Do you play the 75% odds and say, give me the chance at $1 billion, which is life-changing money for you and all of your descendants forever, or do you just take the cool $1 million and walk?
I mean, because 75%. I mean, I feel like at least once a day I gamble something on a 75%. That's worse odds.
Yeah.
I mean, the odds are so damn good at 75%, $1 billion. Like you said, you're not going to use all that money. You could, you could shovel away most of that money, feel good about yourself, and then still never think about it again. But $1 million, the payout would be $500,000 roughly, or maybe a little less than that. That doesn't,
no. The payout on $1 million in this, I said it's $700,000.
Oh, it's $700,000. You mentioned that. Okay, yeah, I'm already twisting my brain around on this one. Anyone else want to chime in? Because
I would do the $1 million.
You
sure.
do the $1 million.
I'll take $20, Steve, if you got it.
I would take a shot at it just to feel that rush.
Candace just went from a possible billion to a sure $1 million to $20 in less than 10 seconds.
To no chance in hell Gorman's ever going to give you 20. Boy, you reduced you went from 75 to 100 to 0.
Yeah, I appreciate none of you have mentioned the fact that maybe I'm just a complete con man and this is all a setup. But no, it is fascinating. As a younger man, make no mistake, I go give me 3 out of 4 chance at $1 billion all day long.
Yeah.
But here's where I come to now. If I do that, and I miss and I don't win the billion, I will forget about the billion. I'll be angry about the million forever because it was literally in my pocket.
Right.
And I took it out and burned it. And so that's called getting your shins kicked a few times by reality. I think no question about it. It sounds crazy to the younger me, but I'd just take the million and walk right away. I wouldn't lose a night of sleep over it either. Right, because you lose it, and you're just stuck with that schmuck feeling. And every time you pay your mortgage, every time you make a truck payment, a motorcycle payment, whatever, you're like, I could have owned it outright. But anyway, good for me. Or you just kid yourself and say, hey, you know what? No balls, no babies. You got to roll the dice. I'm still convinced that if I am going to win, it's going to come from a state that I don't live in. For whatever reason, I always imagine having to like if I drove to Nashville last year, and so I stopped for gas in Wisconsin, and I bought a lottery ticket. And then I stopped for gas the next time I was in southern Indiana, I bought a lottery ticket. And in my mind, it's like, oh, can you imagine I'm going to win, and then I'm going to have to, where's the state capital of this state? Where do I have to go to claim? And I always imagine me being in a foreign land to claim my money. Because it just seems like that's like better story than going like over to St. Paul.
Yeah, but there's more chance of you forgetting that you bought the ticket.
Oh, make no mistake. I've done that where I'm like, I think I bought a ticket in I know I bought a ticket in Illinois. Where is it? Oh, my God. And then I'm like, oh, please don't have a winner. Please don't have a winner. Because, of course, it was the ticket I lost. So I would have to quit my job just to look for the ticket. Say, I can't possibly even get on the radio. I can't do whatever it is I do for a living. If there's a ticket out there missing, I have to, devote 100% of my time to finding that damn thing. Oh, yeah, that would just be my luck. Minnesota, the great thing about if you do cash in, if you do win it here, is you can stay anonymous. They don't require you to release your name. And of course, again, just keeping on the theme of how unreasonable can you be. When I found that out, I was like, oh, sweet. Like it's ever going to matter.
Rosemary, put that one in the pro column for moving to Minnesota.
Like, hey, man, no, this is great. We don't have to no one will know. It'll just say SG. They'll put an initial on it or something. And then, of course, I've even tortured myself because people say, well, you establish a trust and claim it as the trust, and then your name's not a part of it, and that's perfectly legal. And then I'm like, oh, but what do we call the trust? You got to come up with a name that's cool because you'll be, like donating charity out of this trust. Right. But then you don't want it to be something that someone else will put two and two together and realize it's you. Yeah. Literally, I think about these things at times. Usually as I'm falling asleep.
Right, yeah. I Googled one time. I'll then, reach over and grab the phone after I've already started to fall asleep, grab the phone and then Google, is there some, because I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to vet all these charitable organizations. I don't know how to. And besides, I'm going to be jetting off to God knows where.
Right.
And I don't want to take my time, but I don't want to just kind of give it away to the scam and, the flavor of the month and finds out there. You know what I'm trying to say. So I will Google, is there an organization that will vet charitable organizations for me if I'm a billionaire to give a lot of money to?
Yeah.
It turns out there's one or two out there. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. Now I can go to sleep.
Now you
knowing
can relax.
That when I wake up a billionaire in the morning, I've checked one box.
All right, Candace, you're taking the million.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Zepp, you're taking the million.
I guess so, but ask me again in a minute.
I'm taking the million. Tony, the lone wild card. You said flat out, you go, I'm going 75% for the billion.
Yeah, I initially thought that, and I've been rethinking it, but yeah. Yeah. Now, why is it only a 75% chance?
Because I make the rules.
That's the would you rather. Yeah, I mean,
it's a guarantee of $1 million or a pretty good odds. I mean, I could have gone 50-50, but I thought I'd just make it even weirder. 75% chance. But like you said, Zepp, I 75% chance. We take chances on things like that all the time. Yeah. You got a 3 and 4 chance of X. You're almost always going, I'll go with that.
I believe in positive thought too, and I think that would influence it.
Again, remember who your host is today. I'm a con man, so just remember.
What if I offer to give you guys $1 million, but you'll never see me again?
Oh, Candace, sweetheart, honey.
$1 million to $1 million
Let's talk
cash.
at the break.
And I love that you said "but" when the word is actually "and."
Yeah.
$1 million, but you never see me again. No, $1 million and we never see you again. We're fighting for first place on that list. And by the way, we love you, but let's be pragmatic.
Yeah. On the anniversary each year, you would receive the biggest bouquet of flowers and maybe one of those edible arrangements or something.
Yeah, wherever you are.
Hey,
We're never gonna see her again. She gave us $1 million, and we've never been happier. Man.
I just love to hurt myself, I guess.
Right. Well, while we're beating ourselves up, what's the stupidest thing you've ever done in your relationship where you're just like, I don't have an argument. I'm just an idiot. I'm just a dumb ass. I feel like the guys immediately something came to their head, and I feel like for the women it did too. But it was about the guy. Wait till you hear what this fiance did. We have some audio from the bride. Fiance screwed up big and bad. That story's coming here about 7:27. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, Wednesday, March the 27th. Good morning. Men are kind of dumb. We all know this. We all make mistakes, especially in our relationships. I have shared the story on this very morning show of the day after our wedding. A little over 30 years ago, my wife and I got married. We were in the Virgin Islands, a beautiful setting. And very few people. It was a very small getaway wedding, and the service was recorded on a camcorder, which used like an old school VHS tape. A big bulky camcorder. Which at the time we thought this thing's tiny, and now if someone pulled one out, you'd laugh at them and say, "Why are you walking around with that car battery?" But we got a video of our wedding, and the next day I saw an iguana in a tree, and I just had to go capture him doing nothing. And what had happened was somebody had rewound the tape, and I taped over our wedding.
Oh my God.
Not the whole thing, the whole thing, but right about the point where we started the actual I do's. So we got right up to there, and then boom, iguana doing nothing. And so
Well, you got the iguana though.
No, the iguana looks amazing. I mean, the great color, the juxtaposition against the branch with the water in the background. Gorgeous shot.
Magic hour.
Yeah, and so I actually never saw the actual wedding tape. I have the memories that I lived through, and that was always going to have to be enough, and that's fine. But it was a bit of a drag. But we have a story of a gentleman who made a mistake way before the wedding itself, and this one, honestly, it's a bit worse. Australia. Well, that right there makes it funny because of how weird they all talk. Dude in Australia, let's see what happened. Oh, that's right. He was hopping into his car. He'd picked up his fiance's wedding dress. $2,000 wedding dress.
Ooh.
And now, I don't know about you guys. I, on occasion, in fact, pretty often, I have my hands full. I get out of the car here in the morning. I'll get out of the car. I'll have my laptop in a shoulder bag. I'll have the keys. Most days I have Chauncey on a leash, and then I have my to-go cup of coffee. And I get out of the car first. I put the coffee on the hood of the car or the roof of my car, and then I grab all my stuff and get. And the last thing I do is remove the coffee because I'm just going to put that wherever I can fit it. This dude got into his car, and guess what he put on the package? Guess what package he put on the roof of his car?
Yeah,
it was the wedding dress.
Yeah.
Got into his car, and then, by the way, not surface streets. He had to get onto the interstate to get home, and boy, he certainly did.
Oh, long gone. By the way, so gone that they're offering a $500 reward to anyone who finds it. Here's the crestfallen bride, Lindell, breaking down what happened.
Don't know why the dress was in the car. That wasn't me. As he moved the stuff to put the storage in the car, put the dress on top of the car to not crush it, and then proceeded to drive off. I guess I can replace the dress, but it's just more the frustration of the situation.
Well, you shouldn't have let him do that anyway. That's your fault.
Sending him to pick up the $2,000 dress. The guy, for trying to thank you, Candace, for lowering the bar appropriately here. it goes on in the story that she was crying it up, a lot of emotions. He feels like an idiot naturally. You kind of want to marry the person that says, easy come, easy go. Well, it's just a dress. It's not our love that you set up there. You didn't cheat on me during the bachelor party, that kind of thing. So, but that's not how she's taking it. And he's gonna be in the doghouse until.
Well, yeah, she's got this over his head for life. I mean, he just
for
walked
life.
himself into a cell. But imagine being the person who then says this relationship's off. You lost my dress. I can't marry you. I mean, she's also in a no-win situation. You've got to laugh it off. It's a tough thing. And by the way, the dress wasn't like on a hanger. It was in a box. It was very nicely put in there perfectly.
I'm
but
picking
still.
that up myself.
No, I get you. I didn't want someone to imagine the guy like literally was holding a dress on a hanger and put it on the roof of his car. It was in a box.
Yeah, he doesn't get into I want to hear his explanation for it, that he kind of stuttered through, but he came out of the wedding store. Steve, he didn't have 3 other bags of groceries with him. Sure. He had a box with him. Right. Did he have a cup of coffee? Perhaps. I don't know. But he had a box with him, and he set it up on the roof to, open the door to get in? Or it seems to me he was a little distracted.
No, it was his subconscious telling him, do whatever you can to get out of this.
You know what? There's something to that. I'm just saying.
Look, I mean, what, Candace?
I don't know. I do believe that, too, sometimes when things like that happen.
Well, it's either that. Well, it's that. It's a combination of 2 things. The subconscious is going, get rid of this dress. Oh, my God, you've just handcuffed yourself for life. And then on top of it, as we mentioned already, he's Australian. Therefore, by his own nature, he was just hammered. I stopped in for a couple, and a couple turns into a couple more, and then I told 2 friends, and they told 2 friends, and they had 46 pints of lager. And then I put a dress on the truck, and now I'm a bad guy. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
He's not alone. You recorded over your wedding vows. You got the iguana in the tree. There's a couple more here. Southern California. Bride who discovered that a family member accidentally donated her beaded spaghetti-strapped wedding dress to Goodwill. I guess gals like to keep that around. Oh, no, this was before she got married. Okay, that's a bad one. I suppose you have to go down to Goodwill and buy it back for $25. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It doesn't say here if she got it back or not. Arkansas bride had an emotional meltdown when her mom made the same mistake, giving her dress away to charity weeks before her nuptials last December.
Oh, man.
And then someone bought it. She ended up discovering her own gown was being resold on eBay. Never used, brand new wedding dress up for bids on eBay. And by the way, I'm looking at the picture of the dress. I know, I hate to be that guy. Have you guys, I don't know if you clicked on the story and have seen the picture. Yeah. It's a sheet wrapped her. It's a toga party is what she's going to with a bow in the front. I mean, what am I missing here?
Somebody, the fact that she was $2,000 out for that dress, it's already like, the guy was doing you a favor. Now that I'm looking at the picture, was. You're going to come up with something better.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like a smart pantsuit would make more sense.
And I was pissed off, Dad, the one who paid for the dress, probably, and that the bride's down right. He's like, really? Yeah, buddy, you owe me $2,000.
I told you the story recently about the when I put a Power Ranger on the roof of our car, a Power Ranger action figure, and then drove 20 miles on the interstate, and by God, that sumbitch was still hanging onto the luggage rack. It was incredible.
Yeah. Power Ranger, dude.
Yeah, he really lived up to his name and saved my 4-year-old son from a life of trauma. Because we got there, and I was like, I could not believe this guy held on for the whole way up. But that was pretty great. Yeah, the wedding dress, I've definitely seen. I mean, I've honked at people. Hey, look up! They got the drink on the car. In fact, not that long ago, I saw a guy walking out. Last time I was in Atlanta, I saw a guy walking out of a Waffle House, and he had his to-go bag, and he put that on the roof of his car. And I honked, and I was like, "Yo!" And he, "Whoa, thanks, man! Holy crap!" And I was like, "Yeah, I know."
Men helping men.
And when you're stoned, you just want Waffle House. I get you, bro. I feel you.
That was really nice of you.
It was nice to me. I would have hated to hear the splat of that gorgeous Waffle House food going on the cement like that. It would have been terrible.
Yeah, that would have been horrifying.
You got to look out for your brethren at the Waffle House.
Oh, I've left more Yetis along the side of the road. Although last summer we talked about having our own our old parking spot. We want our own parking spot, We don't have an assigned parking spot. We're not big shots. But when we get to work, that's my spot. Everybody knows it. Stay out of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm infamous for putting the Yeti on the tonneau cover of the truck while I throw something in the back seat of the crew cab there. And lost that one. Went to down to the old hardware store there, grabbed myself a new Yeti, and the next day I got back to work and parked in my usual spot, and by God, there it was, laying right up against the gutter. Yeah, I got my Yeti back, so I have a spare.
Going back to the things that we just claim for ourselves, like parking spots or the stall at work. I've recognized another one that I'm involved with on a regular basis, and that's not far from this radio station, the Northeast Lunds and Byerly's. I'm in there all the time. That's my local grocer.
Yeah.
And I always do the self-checkout, and I like a specific checkout machine. You walk in, there's 2 to the right and 2 to the left and 4 to the right, and I want that second one on the left every time. And I'm actually annoyed when I go to a different one. It makes no difference. They all operate exactly the same, but I have a flow. And I was unaware of it until this morning. And then we were sitting here, and I'm like, what's in my cross? Something's bugging me. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Every time I go there, if someone else is there and there's another one that's open, I will hesitate. Like, well, do I wait? Or
you wait?
And you never know. I have waited.
Because you got to wave someone by. Because if there's an open one, someone behind will give you that little poke. And, hey, that one's open. No, I'm waiting for this one. And then I'm trying to imagine that interaction. Have you had to send people past you and go, no, that's mine right
there?
You
got to pretend you're doing something. Look at your phone or in your pocket.
Magazine. All the new issue of People's out.
No, I do go to the one that's open. But I don't do. I do it under silent protest.
Oh, that's I don't. I'm not. I guess a regular these days at any local bar, but I have been in the past. And when I wander in, and I'm thinking of one spot in particular there in South Minneapolis, when I would wander in, look at the bar, there is a pillar where the bar does a little nook, and there's a chair right there, and I want to sit by the pillar because then no one's going to be on my right. I'm only going to deal with someone on my left. That's my seat. That's where I go, and I go there frequently, and yet I'll walk in, and there will be 10 empty chairs along the bar and someone in that chair, and I will sit right down next to their left, scooch over towards them, and just be a little elbowy, a little loud, a little grumpy.
I hear you. No, these are the things about us that until we acknowledge them publicly, we don't realize how annoying we are to those around us. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Candace, who's on the horn?
Kathy from Forest Lake.
Kathy from Forest Lake, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're great, thank you. What do you got for us?
Well, I was living in Stillwater at the time, and I was working out my garage, and I ran up to the store, and I got back, and then I went to go use my cell phone, but I couldn't find my cell phone. Looking everywhere, and at that time I had a home line, so I dialed my cell phone number and didn't hear my cell phone anywhere. It's like, oh my God, I know I just had it,
Yeah.
So long story short, I backtracked my steps. I got in my car, drove back to the store where I was at. In the middle of the road, driving on Greeley Street, I saw this pink object in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And it was my phone. It was still intact.
Nice.
Hey, man, you got a case for it. Good call.
Strong.
Yay.
And it worked. And it worked just fine. No harm done.
You guys have a great day.
All right, thank you.
That's a victory right there.
You know what? Like, take the rest of the month off. Because now you've won, and now whatever happens next, you'll lose. So just kick back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I had lost my phone at a Cub Foods once, and so I thought I had a friend just dial up my phone. I thought maybe I would find it in there. It was in the garbage can. Outside, as you walk into the store, I had cleared stuff out of my car, dropped my phone in there. So I had to go look for
put it in the garbage can.
I had to go look for management. And can you help me go through the garbage? It was humiliating.
Oh, that's awesome! I thought you were suggesting you left it, an employee found it and threw it away, which I was about to get angry on your behalf. But no,
I
you
saw
did it
Zep
yourself.
call, and it was just a reaction. I whipped it into the. I went, wait, that's my phone. I could have just hit, skip.
That's fantastic. Candace, who else have we got on the horn?
Susie from Belle Plaine.
Susie, good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on?
So, I have a story. When I was married, I lived out 9 miles out into the country, and I'd gone into the store to get some groceries, and I just brought my checkbook in. So I was walking out to my car, put my bags in my car, the milk in the car, and I put my checkbook in the roof of the car. So So I get home and I'm like, oh my gosh, where's my checkbook? And so my husband at the time was freaking out. And that evening I got a phone call, and it was my high school poli-sci teacher. And I'm like, why is he calling me? And so he didn't put two and two together because my last name was different at the time. So he's like, I was driving down 169 and out in the country, I happened to look down as I was driving and I saw a checkbook and I picked it up. So I went over to his house, and when he realized it was me, he just looked at me and started laughing. He goes, only you.
Nice.
Wait a minute.
Wow, what a strong effort to pull over, pick up the checkbook, and then track down the owner. That was a hell of a gesture on his part.
Sounds like something a teacher would do.
Does sound like something a teacher would do, or even a creeper. But we don't want to cast aspersions. That's good. Well, that was a fine result. Did he get when he was your teacher? Were you you A student, B student? How were you doing in poli-sci?
Average.
Yeah,
passing grade. Moving on. Did you write him a $5 check as a tip?
I thanked him. He didn't want anything.
Right.
Teacher, true and true. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, thanks.
And I'm going to resist the urge to go, oh, you're the woman I'm always behind in line at the grocery store who's still writing a check.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's happened to me before. I've lost my ID and someone mailed it to me, and I thought that was pretty nice. But I'll tell you what, I recently left my bracelets, my stones, my protection stones in a yoga class recently, and no one turned them in to lost and found. So whoever picked those up stole them, and I just want to say, you never steal a witch's stones. That is the worst karma you could ever do. All my energy is in that bracelet, and someone's walking around with it right now.
And now you're unprotected.
Well,
you're going to have it back. I have it around my ankle.
There's two results here. You're unprotected, but you know why you're never going to get those stones back? Because that woman's already dead.
Oh my God!
We're burying her with her favorite stones.
You didn't want to say it, but we all know what happens when you steal a witch's stones. Those things kill your ass quick. It was a slow
bummer, man. They're my grandma's birthstones. It wasn't from my grandma, but it was the stone of her birthstone. So it was really important to me, and I just don't get it. I don't get it, man. You turn stuff into lost and found. Don't be a jerk face.
Let me tell you something. That woman who had those stones, her neighbors noticed a weird smell from her apartment not that long ago, and they called the authorities. And starved to death. She couldn't get out of bed to find anything, not even a cup of water, and she didn't understand why. She lost her mind, then don't steal a witch's stones. That was a terrible story.
I thought you kept them in your bra anyway.
Well, this was a special bracelet one.
Oh, I see.
And I have to take them off for
everywhere.
yoga because I got weak wrists, so I got to take them off.
Weak wrists? They can't support you can't do yoga with the bracelet on?
Your feet, your wrists.
I'm going to go ahead and recommend a strength class for you. Maybe some vitamins,
how
one a day?
How did you come across the information? How do you know you have weak wrists?
It just hurts sometimes if I wear my bracelets during yoga. I'm doing all sorts of crazy moves and stuff.
Right.
I can dig that. I mean, I've seen it done.
I could never. I can't imagine doing yoga with any accoutrement, any jewelry of any sort. Like I can't imagine wearing a bracelet for any reason anyway. But in a yoga class, especially.
I can't imagine you doing yoga, period. So.
I've done more yoga than you can shake a stick at.
But you'll never come with. You never want to come with me.
I don't want to do yoga with someone I know.
That's weird.
Yoga is for strangers.
Yeah. Okay? Maybe just the two of you could get together. A little yoga, lay a mat down. We've got a bunch of empty rooms in the back.
I am shockingly flexible for a man of my size.
Prove it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, money where your mouth is, mister. Let's see some poses here during the break. And give us a downward dog.
Well, we just do the limbo in an hour in the hallway.
Guys, I am hot yoga or bust. If it's not 105 degrees, I'm not touching my toes.
You've already told your hot yoga story, you fraud.
I got hot yoga stories for days, baby. I tell you what, I always go back. I got very into it for a few years, but I've never. One of the moments of my life where I actually just have those, like we're talking about. You put something on the car, you drive away, and you go, "God, sometimes I'm really an idiot." The first time I ever did hot yoga, I spent that evening looking at the mirror, going, "Steve, what's wrong with you?" Because I left a 90-minute Bikram yoga class having sweated 10 pounds out of my system and just a brain fog, which then gave way to a brain clarity of which I'd never experienced. And I was like, holy crap, I am reborn. Straight to an Irish pub, Guinness and fish and chips. and it was like, I mean, seriously, man, it was like I was a human boomerang. That day, I was like, I got home and I was just like, I can't make sense of anything. I depleted all the bad and then I filled it right back up. It was ridiculous.
You thought you deserved a reward.
I did think I deserved a reward. It was truly a completely asinine moment in my life. But these things happen. Candace, who else is on the horn right now?
We have Frank from Brooklyn Center.
Frank, good morning, sir. What do you got for us?
Good morning. I had an ex-girlfriend that she lost her phone all the time. One night she was out drinking and lost her phone that night. She was convinced. She had it in her head somebody stole her phone. So in the following days, she's looking on Craigslist and she found an iPhone for sale on Craigslist that she was dead set was hers. No case, no, identifiable markings, but she was dead set this is her iPhone.
Same model.
God forbid she had the only iPhone in the Twin Cities, apparently.
Yeah, right.
So she meets up with this guy, she's making the deal to buy her phone back, and then she springs out and I know you stole my phone. That's mine. Yada yada. I'm calling the cops, and it was a disaster. Fast forward a couple days, it fell out of her pocket in the backseat of the car she was riding in that night.
Nice. I love somebody who just gets it in their head, something so irrational and can't be talked off that ledge. Like,
wow.
Because what would be the chances that the one phone she lost would be the one phone she found on Craigslist? That's awesome.
Such conviction, too.
And the relationship did not work out, is what I'm getting, right?
I did say X, yes.
Yeah. Okay, probably for the best. Just going to throw that out there.
Right.
As painful as it may have been, I think you're in a better place now. So,
Right on, brother.
Yeah, you don't want to spend a life being falsely accused of like,
I
know you were behind JFK. What are you talking about? I was too. Yeah.
I was on the receiving end of that accusation many a time. Maybe not that particular one.
Where's my phone?
What do you have to say about 9/11, fella? All right, fair enough. Thank you for the call, brother. We appreciate it. We got to get on with this.
Oh, yeah. Right now on the KQ92 Talk and Text line, we'll need a couple of callers. If you haven't lost your phone, that's 651-989-ROCK, 9 and 2. We're playing Wrestler or Not for your tickets to WWE Monday Night Raw, July 29th at the Excel, prize provided by Excel Energy Center. A runner-up today. Dig this. No. We're doing the or. I missed the big or. Or would you prefer Jeff Lynn's ELO Monday, September 30th at the Excel? Prize provided by Live Nation. Winner chooses 651-989-ROCK. Dial up. Good luck and hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Wednesday, March 27th. Good morning. ELO, Jeff Lynn's ELO is at the XL Energy Center Monday, September 30th. Whereas July 29th at the XL Energy Center, you got WWE Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Come on, Candace.
Yeah, brother.
Get your wrestling boots on, Candace.
I love your brother.
Thank you. I say it a lot.
She does say it a lot.
It's too much.
Your throat's going to hurt later.
It's not often that we talk about wrestling and ELO in the same sentence. It's not often enough. We should probably encourage that to happen more often. I off the top of my head, I'm thinking about ELO, some of their biggest hits. I don't know if there's any wrestling content in any of their music. Anybody coming up with anything like
Mr. Blue Sky?
Turn to Stone.
That could be a good one.
Yeah, I like that.
And I can't do a diving overhead chop. I mean, you could kind of shoehorn them in maybe, but probably best to leave these things separated. You know what I mean? I think they're mutually non-exclusive is what I'm trying to say.
Maybe when we get around to the Metallica concert, there's a good WWE
That
Metallica.
makes more sense. Yoga, as we talked about in the last segment, sure, you could bend that into a Jeff Lynne lyric. But wrestling, I don't think so, which is okay because we're about to play a game, and the winner is going to get to choose. They will have to choose. You have to choose, brother, between either wrestling tickets or Jeff Lynne's ELO tickets. Not an easy choice. Or is it? Why don't we just quit talking about it and get to it? We're going to play a game. 2 callers are ready to rock. Tony, today's game is?
We're just going to get raw.
I'm a professional wrestler.
In this corner.
You want to wrestle me? No, thank you.
No, thank you. Today's SmackDown includes the fabulous prize of tickets to see Monday Night Raw. So, we're going to throw out some names of wrestlers, old school and contemporary, and you tell us, are they wrestlers or are they not?
Awesome.
Wow. I like it. Wrestler or not. And then after the game, we can pit members of ELO against other great pop bands and see who would win the bout.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, sure. I'm picking basically anyone over ELO. Great band, but they're getting their asses kicked if they get into the squared circle. Let's do it. Wrestler or not? We got two folks lined up. Candace, who is contestant number 1?
Jeff from Eden Prairie.
Jeff, good morning, brother.
How you doing, guys?
We're great. We're great, man. Are you a ELO and or wrestling fan?
Yeah, I think you're looking for "Don't Bring Me Down" by ELO, or maybe "Turn to Stone."
Yeah, okay. We could make those both work. Very well played, sir. All right, well, we're going to
Showdown.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, Jeff came to play.
Thank you.
All right, you're ready for wrestler or not? So Tony's going to take it from here. Good luck, sir.
All right, he's primed. Here's your first one. The Crusher.
That's a wrestler, yeah. From Minnesota, right?
Absolutely. Old school as it gets. Number 2, Blackjack Lanza.
Blackjack Lanza. Not a wrestler.
I'm sorry. Yeah, big time.
Oh, Jeff. It's all right. It's 1 for 2. You're going to be right back on the horse. Get to it.
He really wanted that give me 2 seconds on ELO, I bet.
Yeah,
those are tunes.
Jeff, number 3, Big Ryan Seacrest.
No, not a wrestler.
Well, maybe after, if that Wheel of Fortune thing doesn't work out. One of Ryan Seacrest's clones, perhaps, at WWE.
Welcome, Big Ryan Seacrest. 0 wins, 941 losses.
But he's well moisturized.
He's got all the edge of a bowl of vanilla ice cream.
Jeff, number 4, Ricochet.
Ricochet. I'm going to say yes.
Yep.
Boy.
Boom.
All right.
He has a good time on St. Patty's Day. Rick O'Shea. See what I'm saying?
Cool. All right, 3 more, mister. Number 5, the Kabuki Warriors.
No.
I'm sorry.
Something you made up.
No.
No. Oh, no.
No, it's true.
The double buzz.
Yeah, Kabuki Warriors.
Speaking of which, boy, that Shogun's pretty great. You seen that yet? On
No,
Hulu?
not yet. Is that awesome?
Watched the first one last night. Holy crap. I am down with Shogun. All right, Kabuki Warriors. Let's move on, Jeff. Next one.
Number 6, Dirty Dingus McGee.
And these are some deep dives here. I'm going to say not real.
Correct. It was from a Western comedy in 1970 starring Francis Sinatra.
Wow.
As Dirty Dingus?
Yes, he was Dirty Dingus McGee.
Dirty Dingus McGee sounds like something from the aforementioned bathroom stall stories we were talking about.
Right.
That's just me.
I think it won an Oscar, didn't it?
Probably not. All right, here's your last one, Jeff. Number 7, Handsome Harley Race.
Yeah, he's real.
Yeah, that's true. Very good.
Wow, that's
You did
5
well.
for 7, Jeff. Very strong. A better math student would give you the percentage. What is 5 out of 7? But that's not me. I'm going to suggest it's, I don't know, well over 50%. Well done. 5 out of 7 and some ELO wrestling suggestions. Well played, sir. We're going to put you on hold for now. Candace, who's contestant number 2?
D from Cold Springs.
D, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you a wrestling fan and or ELO fan?
I am definitely an ELO fan.
All right, sir.
Wrestling was more as a kid.
Okay, all right. Well, good luck to you. 5 out of 7 puts you into a tiebreaker. 6 out of 7 gives you your choice of ELO or wrestling tickets. I think we know which way you're leaning. Best of luck, D.
Thank you.
All right, Big D, number 1, Wahoo McDaniel.
That is a yes.
Yes, it sure is.
Wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. Okay, sorry.
That's
Grinch moment.
Enter the ring. That's what they'd play.
Nice.
Number 2, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes, I went as him for Halloween this year.
Well, then he's not a wrestler. He's the wrestler. Wow.
Did you need one of those foam muscle shirts, or you just bring it all? Bring it. Yeah, bring your own.
Got it covered himself. All right, number 3, Ken Barlow.
No, sir.
He's a meteorologist.
Mess up that hair, not on your life.
Meteorologist with KSTP.
Boy, Candace really liked that one.
That's awesome.
That was awesome.
Number 4, Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Sure, yes.
Sure.
There's no dirty dingus, but...
Oh.
Wow. Is D 4 for 4, or did he miss one?
4 for 4.
I think, he's just
4
running
for
the
4.
table so far. Keep it up, brother.
All right, 3 more. Number 5, Wholesome Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins is probably wholesome, but he is not a wrestler.
Correct.
Who would win, Kenny Loggins or Seacrest?
Oh, Loggins would wipe
sure.
him
He's-
up, man.
he's
What do you
more
care?
wired.
I know Seacrest has that smile. I feel like that would be like he could put someone on the mat just with the smile.
Nah, Loggins survived the 70s. You can't kill him.
Loggins would give him the El Kabong with his acoustic guitar.
That's exactly right.
All right, 2 more. Number 6, Brutus Creed.
Let's go with no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pressure.
That's a good name, though. D, this is for the marbles here, brother. If you hit this one, you're the winner. If not, we're going to a tiebreaker.
All right.
All right, D. The Gardener.
Yes.
I am sorry that is
I
made
would have
up.
said yes, too.
I'm going to plant you in this garden, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it's still hanging out there. That one is available.
You're going to be begging for Miracle Grow after I get done with you. Oh, my God.
Wearing those rubber gloves.
I tell you what, hey, D, if not for nothing, the pause before you answered, that was the greatest tension we've experienced on this show yet. It was, whew, man. All right, well, you started strong. You ended up 5 for 7, which means you and Jeff are tied. Gentlemen, we have a tiebreaker question that will probably have nothing to do with ELO or wrestling. Tony will ask, and then Jeff, if you would answer first, and then D answer second, and we'll see what happens.
All right, fellas, into the octagon. Alexa, Amazon's digital assistant, was first launched in what year?
What do you think, Jeff?
Alexa, 2014.
2014. D, what do you think?
Let's go with 2013.
2013, says D. Tony?
It is indeed 2014.
Oh, wow. Jeff, with the win. Please tell me you muted your phone and said, Alexa, what year were you launched? But, we'll never know. Jeff, sir, you have won the game today on the backs of that tiebreaker, so you get to choose wrestling or ELO. What you going to do?
I was down on the mat there. I thought it was all over, but
I think I'm going to go yellow.
There you go. All right. Well, have a great night. That's September 30th at the XL Energy Center. D, very well played, sir. Sorry it didn't work out for you. But, gentlemen, thank you both for listening, and thank you both for playing.
Thank you.
You got it.
Well, you can only assume D might have been really jacked for the WWE.
He seemed like more of an ELO guy.
More of an ELO guy, yeah, totally, yeah.
He was leaning that way pretty hard. Boy, that was a good one. I was really hoping that your final thing was going to be, now I've spaced on his name. He said a weatherman, and I went straight to
Ken Barlow?
Yeah, Ken Barlow. But then I was like, well, I lost. Who's the old guy in the Today Show that used to do it?
Willard Scott.
Willard Scott.
Willard Scott.
Willard Scott.
Gene Shalit.
I tell you what, I don't know what Steven Spielberg's got up in his craw. He thinks he's got Gene Shalit movie reviews. My God, that's like my childhood right there. Him and Willard Scott talking about, hey, shout out to Danny Williamson. He's 132 today, and he likes Smuckers. That guy Willard Scott, man, what was going on with him? He had a whole good shtick going forever.
Man,
and I don't even think he ever gave a forecast, did he?
No, God, no. He shouted out Smuckers and old people. That's all I remember.
Right, exactly. And then it would point at a board with a sunshine.
That's exactly what it was.
I just think a weatherman's wrestler would be the best.
A weatherman that'd be the shtick?
Yeah.
Here comes some cloudy skies, brother.
Is that one an umbrella?
Yeah. I'm bringing the thunder.
Oh, yeah. Like once a year, he comes out with a move called the tornado.
Yeah, I'm a human hurricane.
I told you guys about what I'm gonna do if I decide to go down the path of becoming a wrestler.
Oh, right.
When you decide.
Please remind me.
So there's this wrestler called JP Warhorse who's like a headbanging rock star. He's like headbanging all the time, and when I first saw it, I was like, dude stole my move. That's my move. So what I would do is I would, pretend like I wanted to be his manager, like, oh, I'm on the radio, like I can get you famous, I can get you whatever, and really trick them, really fool them.
Yeah, that line always works.
And then I would bust out like on stage, and I would be like, do a cool outfit change, and then start headbanging real hard.
Right.
And I would be like, I'm the real headbanger, man.
Right.
I'm the rocker. You're nothing. You're nothing.
That's awesome.
That would get him.
I mean, I think you can pretty much write for the WWE.
It's pretty
write
simple,
yourself. I mean,
but
those are the scenarios
I was
you've laid out right there.
And what did your 6th grade teacher say when you told her this plan?
She supported me, Steve. Why don't you give it a try?
That's
might feel good.
Wait, so what's this guy's name? DJ Warhorse?
JP Warhorse.
JP Warhorse? Is he a local guy?
No,
Or
he's from
national
he's St. Louis, but he comes up here a lot when he does stuff with First Wrestling. He comes up here a lot. He comes up here with my other favorite wrestler. His name is Dan the Dad, and he's awesome because he's just like a dad. He just wears khaki pants and like holds a mug the whole time that
that's
says like,
hilarious.
"World's Best Dad" on it.
That's right up there with the gardener. I guarantee, Tony, if you had asked Dan the Dad, that probably would have been a wrong answer.
Right.
Dan the Dad, the wrestler. He's got the dad bod, right? That's his thing.
Actually, super hot.
That's pretty great.
Well,
they're both coming out of St. Lou,
now.
you say?
Yeah, they're both there. Yeah, they come up and travel together a lot. Yeah,
I was unaware of the St. Louis scene. I guess
it's a big deal down there too.
I'm sure it
is. Very big deal here.
Yeah, I mean, you had the St. Louis music scene. You had Uncle Tupelo, Wilco, Son Volt, all those guys. They're not from St. Louis, but that was like the biggest city nearby. They lot of references, and that's an area they came up in. So I've been familiar with that. But the wrestling scene is a whole new thing for me with the gateway to the West. I didn't know existed.
Yeah, I tripped upon. I'm in a friend group where we just talk about sports on Facebook generally, and they're into this. Who's the actor? Zac Efron, the Iron Claw.
Okay.
About the, oh, God, I forget which brothers it was. See, that's it. I just checked out of that. But that was about a 4-page thread of those guys going, what was that movie? Was it real? Did it stick to the true story? Was Zac Efron? How did he bulk up? Yeah, there was a whole thing about the Iron Claw, which is out now and streaming on your favorite streaming service.
Fair enough. Anybody ever been to St. Louis?
Nope.
Yeah, I've
been to the top of the arch.
I have not gone to the top of the arch.
I've been up there twice, as a kid and then as an adult. And as a kid, it was awesome. And I went up there as an adult, and I was like, shouldn't have done this. Because as they tell you, it's designed to sway with the wind.
Yeah.
And it does. And it's uncomfortable because at the very top of that damned arch, it's a very narrow walkway, and you're walking up, and then you stop, and then you walk down. You literally are at the very apex, and the windows are cut such that you're looking straight down. Like, it's at an angle where you can look directly down, and it's chilling, especially, as I said, when it's swaying in the wind up there. Wow. Can't say I'd recommend it if you have any height issues whatsoever. Which I don't until the moments occasionally when I do. And that one, it was the movement. And I mean, it's not a little sway. You feel like that. You feel like you're on a swing at the very end of a hardcore swing, but you're still definitely going back and forth. Yeah. That's what it feels like up there.
I wonder if anyone's ever jumped off that.
You can't get through it. You can't get.
Like just scaled it or whatever and jumped off or something.
I don't know.
Base jumped it.
I bet someone has. I wouldn't be surprised.
Cool. I would feel more comfortable standing on top of it with a parachute, a base rig, than I would being in it swaying back and forth like you suggest.
It's very, very uncomfortable. Yeah, and then you get out of the arch, and then someone says, "Let's get some of that famous St. Louis chili," which you never heard of until you got there, and then you go eat it, and then it sucks, and then your whole day's shot.
Does it suck?
Maybe that's just me.
Suck?
It just wasn't any good. I was like, "What? This is just chili. It's chili from a can. Get over yourself."
It's so close to Kansas City. I just thought that maybe, I don't know, that Kansas City has some great. I know they're known for their barbecue. I've had chili a couple of times in KC. Whew. They just know how to put meat and sauce together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they do.
They know that combination. They've got it figured out. Don't like your face? Not a problem we have here on the show. We're all very much in love with my face. But if you don't like your face, we'll tell you exactly who you can blame here at 825. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Peter Frampton, who will be here soon, April 1st, I believe, playing in town. I was just thinking, because this is the kind of thing that crosses my mind. You always see those things where they say, ruin the name of a movie by changing a word or whatever. But just think about how different a name sounds. What if he was Pete Frampton? It just wouldn't sound the same. Peter Frampton is Peter Frampton. And if you were like, hey, have you heard the new record by Pete Frampton? You'd be like, what? Pete Frampton sounds like my plumber's name.
Yeah.
Peter Frampton sounds like a rock star. Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Pete Frampton out of Fort Worth. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, but not Peter Frampton. Yeah, that's Baby I Love Your Way.
Yeah, Peter Frampton, Baby I Love Your Way. Pete Frampton, Baby I Love to Drive Your truck across country because I'm a big rig cowboy. Yeah, whole different thing. Real quick, we haven't mentioned today what we spent a lot of time talking about yesterday, which was the bridge collapse in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I imagine most people have heard 6 souls lost. Construction workers were refilling potholes. 8 of them fell in. 2 were rescued. 6 still missing, as last I checked, and of course presumed dead. That's an awful tragedy. The other situation that people are now looking to is what are the long-term impacts of that bridge collapse. Baltimore is the 9th busiest port in America. It is the number 1 port for cars and trucks. And so supply chain shortages and upheaval you can expect in a lot of different ways, especially with a lot of things going on the East Coast. I mean, that whole area from Norfolk, Virginia, all the way up through to like New Jersey, right outside of New York City, a lot of ports, an awful lot of things coming and going through there. And this is going to impact in ways big and small, but it's certainly, if for cars and trucks, this is going to be a real sense of upheaval. There's going to be a real change in how quickly you can expect things. Just an FYI there. If you are not thrilled with your own face, I really don't know what to tell you because I rarely does it. If you want to go in and get some stuff changed, I mean, there's such a chance it can go wrong. But check this out. Whether or not you're going to do anything about it, we do at least know who you can blame. Okay, so at least there's that. You don't like what your face looks like? Sorry, it's your mom's fault. Check this out. This is a study that basically says Your mom's diet while pregnant goes a long way towards determining ultimately how you look.
That's crazy.
Scientists found diets heavier in protein led to wider noses and jaws.
I mean, that's not good though, right? Or is that good? I don't know. Do you? I mean,
I don't
if you're
know.
a mom,
Depends
you're
on your
pregnant.
taste.
You just found out you're pregnant, and I mean, does that mean more protein or less protein? I want just the right amount of protein.
I don't know. I'm just thinking like maybe like Cindy
Look at the
Crawford's
pictures,
mom and Brad Pitt's
right?
mom vociferously and passionately wrote down everything they consumed, and we could just help the future generations by
Right.
mimiking those diets.
I don't
Yeah.
think this is true because my nose looks exactly like my dad. Actually, if you just shaved my hair off, like I
Yeah.
look like my dad, like
Well-
feature wise.
Well, let's try that because I don't
Yeah.
believe you.
But if
AI can do that.
but I got
Tony,
my mom's like
you sicko.
my mom's like swagger. It's also happy birthday to my mom. It's her 60th birthday.
Hey!
Nice. Happy birthday,
Sonia.
Mom.
Like 6-0.
Wheeler, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But I got her like like the air about her. I have that and like her pretty features, but my nose is for sure my dad's.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, but it's determined the width of the nose and the whole thing, the protein your mom ate. Listen, I'm kind of with you on this whole thing, Candace. I don't know where this comes from. I'm looking at the study, and it quickly gets confusing. But I'm just thinking of moms or even a dad out there. Oh, so you're going to go with the hamburger today, huh? I'm just wondering because, you had bacon this morning. That also has protein, and then the eggs. And I'm just wondering if maybe our kid's going to have a freakishly wide nose because they use AI. I'm looking at this story on Daily Mail, and they use AI to show, like, this lady's got a huge beak on her. I mean, it's this ridiculously huge nose on her. And if I'm a parent looking at this, I'm like, honey, no more of the mTORC1 protein for you.
Yeah, it gets a little thick. I mean, simply put, this is how you know it's time to tap out. It says high protein diets were shown to cause enlarged facial features. Feeding the mother's lower protein foods led to slender faces and more pointy facial features. And then the next paragraph, in certain types of fish. Okay, that's where I say, okay, never mind. Don't go from what Imelda Gorman was wolfing down in 1964 and then compare it to a fish's diet. I'm out. I'm tapping out.
Yeah.
But I do want to go back to Candace shaving her head. Because
It's freaky, dude. Like my face, it's weird. The features are very specific to my dad's.
Yeah.
But my mom said, I remember she said when I was in the womb, she would chug orange juice, so much orange juice, and she said that's why I was so healthy.
No.
But I don't know about that. Like, why am I not orange then?
Well, okay. Hold on one second.
Maybe she drank a lot of milk too.
I'm just going back
Ate
to
cottage cheese.
I'm going back to previously on this morning's show. Candace basically shared her playbook for how to get into professional wrestling as the head-banging rocker chick of the wrestling circuit. And I'm just imagining someone going, have you seen that bald head-banging wrestling chick? That's just going to add so much color to the character.
Yeah, it's a punk look right now, Candace. A lot of gals are doing it, shaving the head.
Okay.
I'd like to see it. At least, you know what? At least at least go with a mohawk. At least before you shave it all,
God.
do a couple days with a mohawk. See how it goes.
Yeah, give us a
Grow
couple
back.
of looks.
It's like every time I've ever had a full beard, when I decide to shave, I do it in pieces, and I'll shave. I'll leave like a mustache and goatee just to make my wife like physically ill, and then I'll eventually just have the various mustaches, the very long, 70s total hippie
70s
dude.
porn
Yeah.
stash.
And then bring it all the way back up. I never go full Hitler mustache, but or the Michael Jordan if you prefer.
Right.
Remember when Jordan had that weird? It looked just like it was an Adolf mustache. It was like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, a little something right here on your lip, Mike.
Yeah,
right there. Can you get some cocoa? I think.
But I'll do the Ned Flanders push broom up there for a while. And man, does that make my wife angry and sick to her stomach.
Oh yeah, we have the same sixth sense of humor because I like to go with the Fu Manchu and the soul patch, and then you just walk around for the day, making them think, you're going to shave it off right away, but you go the whole day, or maybe wake up the next morning like, all right, you've had your laugh, that's enough.
We started today talking about things that we just claim or weird quirks, like your parking space at work. They're not assigned, not designated, but yet we all want the same space every day. And then as we were talking about it, I acknowledged and recognized, oh, wait, I actually like the exact same checkout place at my grocery store. I do the self-checkout, and I like to be at a very specific station, and it bugs me if it's taken and there's too many people there and I can't get to it. Here's another weirdness about me, and this has been going on for years. When I go bowling, now 90% of the bowling alleys you enter when you check in and you get your shoes and you do your whole thing, it's usually right around in the middle of the bowling alley. And so when the guy says you'll be on lane whatever the number is, you're either going to go left or right, or sometimes you go right there in the middle. But let's say if there's 32 lanes, the desk is usually between 10 and 20, and so you're going to go somewhere. I really, really hate when I go to the left at a bowling alley. I want to go far right.
Yep, that's weird.
I want most of the bowling alley to my left as I bowl. And not only that, you know how the bowling alleys are set up. You have 2 lanes per gutter, per system. There's you're either to the left or the right of the score table.
Yeah, ball rack and the whole thing, yeah.
I really don't like to be in that left lane. I like to be in the right lane.
Weirdo.
Yeah. I don't know what that is, but I like having everybody to my left when I bowl. If you can give me the farthest lane to the right, I'm never happier. I don't know why that is.
If I'm at a restaurant, I can't face the wall.
Oh my God, Tony,
drives me crazy.
We're exactly the same. You said something else earlier, and I was like, me too. I have to do that, and I was visiting my friend in Arizona last year, and I told her that, and she forced me to sit where I literally was facing the back door, where everyone left to go smoke.
Yeah.
It was so mean.
And she did this to try to what? Teach you a lesson?
Bother me.
Yeah, right.
Break jerk face.
Maybe just a breakthrough, maybe a psychological breakthrough. Maybe she was hoping if that domino fell, all the other weird ones would too. But
should have shaved her head.
She sounds fun.
I have to see what's going on in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not about you don't want to be surprised or snuck up
or
on.
Whacked by the mob. They come up behind you, the old dead man's hand.
Yeah, Buffalo Bill or whatever his name was.
Yeah, that's it. That was it. That's him.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I don't really think about that restaurant seating. I'm sure I probably just subconsciously make my way to where I want to be sitting, but I'm not aware of what that is. That when you said that, I didn't trigger oh yeah, me too, or not me at all. I haven't even thought about it.
I'm so engrossed in the other person I'm with and just spending this quality time with them. I just sort of I sort of tractor beam in on them.
Yeah,
that's my full attention. While Candace is just, perusing the room yeah, whatever. Okay, sounds good. Sure. Are you going to finish that breadstick? Oh my God, look at that guy. He just came in with that woman.
Wow, that's you're
sorry, but that's me and that's Candace. That's the difference between us. Primarily.
I'm the jerk.
No, everyone knows who the jerk is. Let's not put it up to a vote. All right, joke over. Moving along.
Let's get back to how weird Candace's nose is. Thanks, Dad.
Mom just wolfing down the protein.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it's just guys.
It is.
Will help.
We're not trying to bully you, Candace. I'm sorry about that. We're just all having fun. We're not the bullying type.
Noses are so weird. I just zoomed in on a picture of me and my nose, only my nose. They're so weird.
Noses are so weird.
Yeah, look at it.
Okay, it just looks like a nose. I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about the weirdness of noses.
Oh, any body part. If you start to think about it,
hey, next time you guys
have holes in the sides of your head.
Yeah. Next time you guys do bong hits during the break, include me. I want to be part of it.
Candace is really...
I don't think you could bully her this morning, man. I don't think if you tried, you could bully her. We could throw anything at her. She's just letting it glance off of her like a superpower.
It's pretty great.
I'm a superhero.
You're pretty.
Well, I did think it was interesting. Something I noted also that I wanted to mention: a new British study. So British, they're smart over there. They got those accents and everything. A new British study found that playground bullies, and by the way, they invented bullying over there with all those boarding schools. You know what I mean? That's just the home of bullying, Great Britain. Bullies are on the playground more likely to grow up and become professionally successful and more likely to earn more money in middle age than those who were bullied on the playground.
Yeah.
Researchers found that people who are bullies as children are also more likely to have higher job satisfaction and have more desirable jobs.
Yeah.
It's a ringing endorsement for bullying, say the Brits.
Best.
And again, that's because, I mean, you know, this is, you know, I used to bug all the boys at school, and they talk about, like, you know, hazing rituals that involve the term buggering. It's like for a laugh over there. And it's like, wait a minute.
Remember the Monty Python?
Heard.
Remember the Monty Python skit where they would have all the, I don't know if it was rugby or English football or what it was, but all the like senior kids playing all the junior kids, and they were just creaming the crap out of them, and the faculty's out there just having a great laugh about it.
That's how it goes, man.
Yeah, that is how it goes. It's bullying. Well, you know, there's that fine line, too much bullying, right? But I mean, you need a certain amount. It's, you know, you don't want to have your kids too coddled, but they've got to learn some hard knocks and how to take care of themselves. Chris Rock agrees with the English.
We need bullies, man. You think kids were nice to Mark Zuckerberg in high school? Shit, he invented Facebook after somebody smacked him in the face with a book. He invented Facebook just to get friends. We need bullies. Pressure makes diamonds, not hugs. So I hug a piece of coal and watch what you get. You get a dirty shirt. I'm telling you, we need bullies. That's why there's so many fat kids in school right now. Because there's nobody to take their lunch money.
Speaking the truth.
Hey, it's true. I mean, you know, there's a lot to be said for that. At an age, I was in the, I was in the bullying circuit, just trying to avoid bullies as a kid. I was never the bullying type. Although I look back, and then you recognize, but not never being a bully, but still being a complete smartass to younger kids and letting people know. You know, there were times when I'd be like, okay, hey, you're pushing it, kid, and I can crush you if need be. But I never went out of my way for that. But I endured bullying as a kid for sure.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Chris Stevens, who insisted you call him Grub, that wasn't what we called him. That's what he made you call him. Hey, Chris, my name's Grub. he was like a kid from a Stephen King novel. He was horrible.
Yeah.
He stole my first bicycle and like openly mocked up and laughed at me about it. And then my mom went up and talked to him, and he was like, "What are you gonna do about it?" To my mom at the pool.
Oh my God!
And when you're like 6 and a 16-year-old tells your mom, "What are you gonna do about it?" It's like, oh my God, he's like a member of the Manson family.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We had one, Rick Matthews on the bus, and he would do that where he would turn his class ring around and bang you on the head every time he walked past you, throw your stocking cap out the bus window, and and I remember going home and sniffling and telling Dad about it, and he's like, well, better do something about it. But Dad, to his credit, did give us ideas, like how to verbally go back at him. I'm like, what? What do you think's going to happen after I verbally, go after Rick Matthews? But, Dad did actually intervene in that one eventually. But, yeah, I mean, you've got to endure a certain amount and learn how to cope with it. It's, what doesn't kill you makes you tougher kind of thing. But, it's tough to
you boys had to deal with the physical bullying.
Right.
Mine was more mental. I mean, mine was bad, though, because I went to a really small private school for 6th grade because my mom went there and she thought it'd be cool if I went there. And no, Mom, it was torturous.
Yeah.
Ow.
There was this mean boy named Andrew Miller, and he used to sing the Ghostbusters theme song when I would walk into class because I was so pale, and they'd make fun of mine because I had white eyelashes and white eyebrows.
Right.
And then
I would have gone with an Edgar Winter, but I'm cooler.
Yeah, it was so mean. Then he got all the other boys to do it and the girls to do it, and I was just like the little freaky white kid.
Honey.
Oh.
And,
You look back on it though, and think it made you. You think it made you tougher, though? Because you're so cool, you roll with everything. We were trying to bully you earlier, tongue-in-cheek. But, I mean, you let things roll off you better than anyone I know, really. Don't you think that was part of it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care what I look like now, so obviously,
Right.
whatever, man.
Whatever, man.
Obviously, it all worked out. I got out of bullying. I mean, I was a smartass. I could go right back at a bully. Normally, the kids that are bullying you, they're not the wittiest. You know what I mean? So it's pretty easy to run a circle around them. And there's one of two responses. They either get angrier and smack you, or they go, "Hey, this kid's okay," and then they immediately want you to become their little, Grover Dill, the little bully's sidekick in Christmas Story. That was that little kid's name. They're the Scut Farkus.
What was it again?
Well, there's Scut Farkus is the.
Well,
the
everyone remembers that name. Yeah. No one remembers the name you just said.
Grover Dill is
no kidding.
That's his little sidekick bully. Dude. And I had several bullies in my life that I recognized, and then we would engage, and they would recognize in me. He's funny. I'll have him. And I was always like, well, I was saying that just to try to get a laugh from that kid over there. I don't want to be your assistant bully. I'm not going to be your bully wingman. But then I would act like I would be, and then I would just go home and be confused. I'm not sure how to handle this.
I remember coming back after a couple of years in the service, and I had filled out. I had grown into my manly body, and I fashioned myself a rather tough badass at the time, and came back to Woolsey. Not the aforementioned bully, but there was another guy that used to bully me around quite a bit when I was younger, and he was a big, one of these big burly guys, and I came back, and there he was. At the corner of the bar, right there, at Bear's Pub, downtown Woolsey, just like in the movies, I'm like, oh, baby.
Yeah.
Payback. And I walked up, and he was so drunk and pathetic and dirty and missing half of his teeth that I ended up buying him about 4 beers and got fairly drunk with him that night. Just was like, oh, what am I going to do to you? Beat up the town drunk? I guess not. So, I guess life got him back for me.
That's usually how it goes. You just got it. Patience is the key. Or not. Just get a pool cue and just go to work on the guy. Either way.
It did occur to me.
Yeah,
I think back on it now. I'm not sure where the constraint came from. Maybe I was with a lady. I don't recall.
Could have been. You still have time right now. It's backstretching season, or as others call it, golf season. And you have time to pick up the Tee It Up golf card number 3. This is our final card for 2024. You can play 7 area courses, and while you do it, you'll save over $200. Get yours at 92kqrs.com. Search the keyword golf.
You know what else is upon us? Major League Baseball opener. I think the home opener is next Thursday, isn't it?
Yes.
Cleveland's in town. Yeah, here it comes. Maybe some warmer weather by next week as we kind of get out of our little spring kick to the crotch that we get every year. And that means it's almost, and I can't tell you how excited I am about this, hot dog at the ballpark. I'm sorry. Yeah, it tastes better. Don't argue with me. It is better. And wait till we tell you about a job opportunity. Guys, I didn't win the lottery. I'm going to keep my job, but if I had a moment, if they were just paying me peanuts or I was interning at this job, I'd duck out for this gig we're going to tell you about here in about 15 minutes. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, Wednesday, March the 27th. You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC. Not a bad rock and roll song, gentlemen. The Minnesota Twins will not be shaking all night long, but all afternoon long. A week from tomorrow, the home opener, a 3:10 first pitch at Target Field. I can't believe it's already baseball season again.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. It's my favorite day of the year.
I know it is. You've been there every year since the stadium opened, haven't you?
Baseball. With my Richfield
the Richfield 7?
There's a lot of Richfieldians at this event.
Oh, that's right. It's not the Richfield 7. It's Richfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just take everybody.
Richfieldians. Yeah.
And you already have a plan? You already have your whole day worked out?
Oh, yeah.
Because they start stuff early that day. What time for a 3:10 first pitch opening day? What time will Candace Wheeler be approaching Target Field?
I gotta work, Steve. Unless you're gonna get me the day off or something. No, that'd be silly. I love coming to work on the opening day because I'm so happy.
Yeah, of course. So but you'll get there early and you'll be celebrating with all your friends.
Yeah, I would probably say like 12 noon or 1.
Nice.
Get all my stuff done, but I got to be one of the first 10,000 fans this year because you get a beanie.
A beanie.
Oh, nice Twins beanie.
What's your outfit of choice?
I'm trying to figure that out right now. Usually I wear a baseball cap.
Yeah.
Well, then you can't wear the beanie.
Well, what's the beanie then? What?
Oh, that's for later. It's supposed to be. I'm manifesting a really warm, hot, sunny day, so I won't want to wear a beanie on that day, but I'll save it for later.
Oh, that'll be great.
I like that. Now, do you go with the when you get there? Is it a twins dog? Is it a twins big dog? Brat, Polish sausage?
Yeah,
what
I
do
get
you
the
dig
sausage because they got Kramarchuks there.
Yeah, right. I don't know how to say it either. I just go, yeah, that one.
Am I right?
I say Kramarchuks. That's me.
Kramarchuks. Tony? What is it?
Oh, it's Nelson's, actually. They changed their name.
Great
because of the controversy.
By the way, I'm a regular patron there, and I ask every time, and they tell me, and I completely forget. I go back. I say Kramarchuks, whichever. I'll say, hey, how do you say it? And they always tell me, and I goes, thanks, and then I forget. But that's okay, because who needs to know how to say it when it's that delicious?
I did not get one, but they were serving them. I just didn't have the moxie to pull it off, but they had... several years ago, I don't know if they still serve it, but the boomstick hot dog, yeah, it's more than a foot long. I want to say like 2 feet long.
Oh, boy.
And it's got lots of onions and cheese sauce and jalapenos, the old jalapenos on there. Yeah. In fact, the bun is super long. The hot dog itself, I think it was 2 foot long hot dogs in there. And I saw a couple of brave souls two-handed, hauling that thing out of there, and I thought, go.
That's pretty strong right there.
Yeah.
Hey, that as a bit of a segue, I'd like to discuss both length and girth now.
I'm blushing.
I mean, as we age, these are the things that concern us as men.
Yeah.
Length and girth. I mean, you know where I'm going here, don't you, everybody? Yeah, no, actually, I'm sticking with hot dogs and the like. There's an online gambling site called BetUS, and they are hiring right now. And what they're looking for is someone they're calling a wiener connoisseur. A wiener.
What are you laughing at, Candace?
Connoisseur. Wow. They want someone who's going to go find out about length, silent G, length, girth, and weight for every ballpark hot dog in America.
Wow.
Here's the gig. They want to send you to all 30 major league ballparks. They want you to check out the Vinos at all of them. You get to test dozens of hot dogs. But the point isn't, is it good or not? They want you to measure each weenie. They want you to measure each weenie to see which major league club has the biggest and smallest. You get to measure the length, the diameter, or girth, as men prefer, and also just the straight up weight of the damn beast. And it's not a full-time job, but they're going to get you game tickets. They'll send you there, and then they will pay you $2,500 for the season. But you get free travel, free baseball games, plus $2,500 to go basically put on your little scientist cap and measure hot dogs.
Holy crap. I mean, if I'm a little more footloose and fancy-free in my life, I'm picturing that year. I'm going to say 22. I'm gone.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. I would be thrilled to be responsible for weighing hot dogs for a living. Just want to tell people that's what you do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get the joke. Right, keep playing it out. I know I'm going to all 30 ballparks. I'm eating a lot of hot dogs. I'm watching a lot of baseball. I'm not paying for it. Yeah, man. Hell, bring it on. Okay, I'm on the website now, betus.com. That's where you apply, betus.com. Yeah, all right, they bring up a good question. Grilled or boiled with your dogs? Preference?
Grilled.
I'll do either, obviously, in a heartbeat. I won't hesitate. But preference? All right, you're grilled, Candace. That's pretty damn good. But boiled, that's classic. That's all that...
I'm not afraid to double up. I'll boil them and then stick them on the grill for a hot minute or two.
That's the answer.
Crazy, Steve.
Yeah, that's bold.
Tell me about it.
You want the char marks.
Yeah, you want the char marks, but then you want to make sure that you haven't. You want the solid every molecule heated perfectly in the boiling water, and then you get the char marks on there and a little charcoal smell. A little vibe, more backyardish. I like that.
All right, but there is a convenience thing. Hot dogs. We're not talking about brisket here. I need to 1, 2, 3 get it in me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I mean, if I've got time to kick around, if that's what I'm doing for the day, eating hot dogs, then
I'm not afraid to microwave a hot dog either. Trust me. You're talking about how quickly you need a hot dog.
When I was a kid, raw. I know that's how you get tapeworm or something. I don't know. But
I used to eat them raw too.
I did.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And your MREs, meals ready to eat, you'd take out there in the Army. You'd get the dogs, the Franks. You know what you wouldn't get with it? A stove on the go. I mean, you're not. Yeah, there were options you could cook them, but most of the time you're just eating your raw weenies.
The first microwave my family had, my dad brought it home from work one day, mid-'70s. I've got a microwave oven, and it was really big.
Yeah, they were huge.
Yeah.
It sat on the kitchen counter,
Then
and
all the kids come running into the room.
Oh yeah, no, it was. We were so excited. My mom had to rearrange where stuff in the kitchen went because this thing was so big, and you'd put a hot dog in there. Less than 20 seconds, that thing would be misshapen and exploding. Whatever amount of microwave that bad boy was putting out is clearly no longer legal. Because my microwave oven right now, I put something in there and I'm like, you got it. Well, hello, let's go. I mean,
maybe another minute.
Yeah, I'm still a guy who thinks microwave ovens are something 30 seconds or less. Nothing took more than 30 seconds in 1977.
No, now that I think about it, my mom used to freak out when I would just open the door with 4 seconds left. Just open. Just not stop or wait till it stops, but just open it. Brian, you're going to get cancer. So the thing we're cooking our food inside that I'm about to consume is going to give me cancer if I just open the door and it stops. Some x-rays are going to get out and cook my little brain. But she might have been onto something. Those early microwaves probably wouldn't pass the standard today.
Tony, you're 12, 13, 14 years old. You come home from school. What's going in that microwave? What are you whipping up in the microwave?
The first thing we did was a bagel.
In the microwave?
Just a regular bagel?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you could heat it up in less than 30 seconds.
And it
was
chewy,
amazing.
Probably chewy, not toasty. Yeah,
Made her chewy. You're damn right.
Okay, all right. Did you go plain bagels? What was the Lee bagel selection like?
We're Egg Bagel House.
Egg Bagel House? Nice.
Sometimes
Head
pumpernickel.
Bagel House. I love his movies.
Head Bagel House. It's an Ed Bagel House comedy.
Bagel House, Bagel House, Bagel House. Don't say it 3 times.
One time I was making Easy Mac in the microwave when I was probably in middle school.
Okay.
And I was on the phone with my friend Gabby at the same time. And my mom was in the living room. And I was taking it out of the microwave.
Right.
And hot boiling water from it went all the way down my chest.
Easy.
And I was trying to play it cool. I ran to the bathroom. I was still on the phone. I was like, Gabby, I gotta go. And my mom's like, what the hell is going on? I had to go to the hospital. I had some serious burns on my chest.
That's terrible. I bet so.
I think the easy, they had you in mind. I don't know if you sued or not. You missed an opportunity there, but I think they had you in mind. You don't have to add water now. It's just all the goo's in there already. But because they were probably getting calls that.
Yeah, it was the 90s. I don't know. It was right when it came out.
No scarring.
When I get sunburn on my chest now, I think it in that specific area, it's more sensitive.
Yeah,
I still think that.
Yeah, boy, that must have seriously hurt. That's terrible.
Yeah, I'm really tough though, so I was
well, sure, yeah.
I finished my conversation about the cute
as
guy.
we've established.
That's what's going to make you a great wrestler.
I want to hear Gabby's version of that story. I was on the phone with Candace once, and she just screamed and was freaking out, and she took a day off of school, and they did a story about it on Channel 11. I mean, I bet she just goes all over the grid.
That was the day the Osbournes were canceled, I think.
That's exactly right. I remember feeling like when I was away, I was out of the mac and cheese game for quite a while till we had kids, and then early days, somebody was like, "Oh, you've got to get what was the brand? It's Amy's, all this organic frozen crab,
shaped like bunnies."
Yeah, and so we were getting like Amy's and all, and then one day I'm like, why am I paying twice as much? It's the same. You just get caught talking to the wrong parent, and suddenly you think you're a bad parent. And then one day I'm like, this is stupid. Just give me some Kraft mac and cheese. And I went to go buy, and then I saw, and it was like Velveeta shells in dinner or whatever it was, and I was like, that looks good. But all this is saying, the first time I made a mac and cheese-esque meal, and it wasn't powder and milk and butter, but it was just an envelope of goop you squeezed in. I really felt like this is ridiculous. This is cheating. This is how are we supposed to how can we be number one if we don't trust ourselves to live and learn in trial and error on how much milk, how much butter, how much powder. You got to spend some time in the kitchen figuring out the perfect way to make that awful mac and cheese that you then tell yourself is really good.
I know. A little less milk, a little more butter. That was my thing. Yeah.
My brother was dating a girl in college, and one time she was telling me, she's like, I just use water. You don't even need milk.
God.
It's like, dude, break up with her.
Yeah, stop it, man. I don't. Yeah,
it's just better. A little bit of butter and that cheese sauce and the water. I was like, no.
I'll eat it. I mean,
I'll eat it if I have to, but because we've all sat around there and went, I don't have any. I'm not using that milk. That's turning a little blue. And then, so, I mean, if you had to, but it's not a preference ever.
I used to rock the mac and cheese with chopped up hot dogs back to your.
Absolutely, with the hot dogs. Before they started putting it on the shelf, this brilliant son of a bitch right here started putting salsa in there. And just there it was the salsa jar, and I'm making the mac and the gooey stuff, and it was like, it was like an out of body experience. I could see myself doing it. It was so natural. And then of course they start putting it on the shelves, and no one would believe that I came up with it first. That was my genius moment right there.
That was we've all got a few of those. You more than the average guy with the food. I mean, I'm just saying. You've been in some situations where you had to get creative real fast. I appreciate that.
A lot of pot, Steve. A lot of pot.
That's what does it. It really helps boost the creative mind when it comes to how can I eat well for $4.09.
Right, and mostly forgetting to go to the grocery store when I get off work, because I stop at the grocery store daily, pretty much, almost, and I get 3 items, and I'm like, well, this will get me through tomorrow, but then I eat all 3 before bedtime.
I used to also rock, what was an incredible bargain? You remember Little Caesars? They had a little something called Crazy Bread. Just big, thick breadsticks, and they'd give it to you with a little cup of spaghetti sauce. I mean, like pizza sauce.
Or the garlic sauce. They had the garlic sauce, too.
And the Crazy Bread, when I was like 20, you could get an order of Crazy Bread. It was $1.04.
Really?
$1.04. And so if I had 4 quarters and a nickel, I would walk to the Little Caesars and just get crazy. It's like 4 giant breadsticks. And I was like, this is a side order that people are just throwing in there. That was a meal for me. I was like, man, that's as much dough as there is in a pizza. It's fantastic.
I'm picturing you with 3 quarters and a nickel, just going mad trying to find, because there's another quarter around somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. I have purchased Crazy Bread with every coin combination possible. I never did 104 pennies, but I promise you, I bought several bags of Crazy Bread just with nickels and pennies. No question about it. Just whatever it takes, man. But by God, I'm going to get all 4 of those breadsticks. It's like they're like this. They were the size of like my foot. They were huge. And I was just like, what? I used to think, like, how does no one else understand the genius of the Crazy Bread dinner?
You've got your own little life hack there.
I thought it was. I was like, this is really something that I've just. I mean, I'm not splitting the atom here, but pretty damn close. Figuring out how to live on $1.04. Get back to me.
Yeah, right. No, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. I don't know if you get away with those anymore. Those are hard to find. Maybe they're out there. Those little deals. Those little food hacks.
This was back in the day when every restaurant in town had the starving student buffet, and everything was all about just how do you eat. But we would go to. There was a few different places. There was one place, the Ponderosa, and they had the all you could eat buffet. And 2 guys would go in and pay the $4.50 each, and you had those wooden plates, and me and my buddy would go in and we'd sit down and get like 3 or 4 refills of just everything, and then another 2 guys would show up, and they would not get in line. They would just walk into the dining area and sit down at our 4-top table. There was just 2 of us, and then we'd get up and leave, and then they would just be sitting there. They'd take our plates and go back, get new ones, and we would run a cycle, like 8-10 guys on 2 orders. And no one working at a small college town Ponderosa is checking to see who actually has the receipt. No. They don't care.
No.
And they also know what's actually in that food, and they just feel bad for whoever's eating it anyway.
Out.
Yeah, if half the people pay at Ponderosa, they're still making a fairly stout profit. They're not going with the farm raised.
That reminds me. My brother got a job at the at the student center. The dining hall at the student center on campus, and he worked his first week shift, and I was like, yeah, how was it? And he goes, oh, hey, listen, the chili the chili on Friday, and the nachos on Thursday. I go, yeah. He goes, don't ever get those.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? He goes, just trust me. Don't ever get those again. I was like, I love those nachos. He goes, no, you don't. You do not love those nachos.
Oh, see, that's what terrified me. All my friends were getting jobs in the fast food industry and that sort of thing. I didn't want to. I just, I don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss, and I'm a fast food guy.
Well, it's a hit or miss. It's either good or bad. On the other side of that, at that exact same time, my buddy Rick, Slick Rick from Louisville, got a job at the Mrs. Winter's Chicken. And he said, hey, every night we have to throw out all this chicken.
Yep.
And he goes, and if you were at the back door at, say, 8:55, when I take a giant hefty bag full of chicken to the dumpster, I could see you by the dumpster. And I was like, okay. And so every time he would work the night shift, someone would run over, one of us, and he would walk out the back door with like 100 pieces of fried. Well, it was probably more like 50. But it was a ton of fried chicken, and then immediately bring that right back, and then we had a feast. It was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Tony Dunnick, McDonald's, same thing. He'd work there. They would close at actually 10 o'clock. We didn't have an all-night one, but about 10 or 9:58 p.m., we'd come rolling down the alley. He'd come out with just this huge garbage bag of Big Macs and cheeseburgers, and
awesome.
Now you pair that with the microwave. Oh, man, you're...
See, for
fat and happy.
For every stay away from the nachos on Thursday, here's a garbage bag full of chicken on Tuesday.
Wise words. Thanks, Steve.
Yin and yang, baby. Yin and yang.
All right, well, let's get cooking. Oh, we have the story audio. I love the audio, but just the way this guy kind of wraps it up, talking about something his dog dug up in the backyard in the United States of America. Not in Europe, not in some old war-torn country. I feel like I'm over teasing like a lot of movie trailers do, but what has your dog dug up in the backyard? I have to think about that because we grew up on a farm. They dug up some weird things. We have that story coming here at 9:27. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, Wednesday, March the 27th. Good morning. If your dog's out and about doing what he does, I love taking Chauncey Gorman out for a stroll. They say for a dog, it's all about the nose. They have like 1,000 times the olfactory capabilities of the average person, or 10,000 times, or 1 billion times. I don't know. But they can smell everything. And getting sense, it's more important than any visual or anything they hear. That's just how they make sense of the world around them. So when you're walking your dog and they're sniffing and sniffing and sniffing, that's a good thing. They're acclimating, getting used to their area, claiming some territory. It's always a good thing. Basically what I'm saying is let a dog be a dog.
I guess so, but sometimes when Gigi's sniffing, it turns into licking, and I kiss that face.
Yeah. Sometimes when she's sniffing and it turns into licking, I want to kiss that face and love you all night long.
It's going to be a good night. When kissing turns to licking.
Man.
Well, I think it's a girl. I mean, she's licking other dogs' pee-pee or whatever the heck she's
we've all had
You don't
sniffing.
think your boyfriend hasn't?
We've all had sniffing turning into licking before. Don't kid yourself. Especially in them young years, them teen years, and puberty hits, and you're sniffing and licking and all sorts of.
You're feeling randy.
I had a sex ed class, and our basketball coach taught it. That'll tell you. The school system is like, someone's got to teach this. Coach, yeah, I'll take it. And our coach, he literally sounded like this. Now, boys, if they're going to play his own defense, by God, we're going to shoot over them. That was him.
Yeah, we're going to run a zone on her.
And this guy, Roy Willem, great coach, great dude. But I just remember one thing. I had a whole sex ed class with him, and I only remember one thing when he said this. Well, now, boys, because it was all boys and one girl. Poor Laura sitting there in the class with us. Last name withheld for her own protection. He said, now, boys, when I was your age, there was a lot of heavy petting. And I just remember, and I don't remember what came after that, but for the rest of my life, I was like, that just scarred me. Boys, when I was your age, there was a lot of heavy petting. Anyway, that was our sex ed. That's all I took away from it.
Yeah. I mean, never looked at the family dog again the same way.
No, never. But anyway, so sniffing doesn't lead to licking, which does lead to, and then it's a Rilo Kiley song before you know it. But that's neither here nor there. If you have a dog and your dog is a sniffer, often that leads to not licking but digging. Dogs who dig holes, the bane of many citizens' existence. Check this out in Jacksonville, Florida. A dog was doing a little sniffing, did a little digging, and pulled something right up out of the ground. Nobody was expecting. Do we have the audio here, Zep?
Right here.
Okay, is this live? You panic and then you drop it. You couldn't really tell what it was until you started to pull it up. And then once I got it like halfway out, I was like, oh, I know what this is. Let me just gently put this back down.
It was
a bomb.
A bomb. A literal, like, unexploded piece of ordnance.
So I quickly went back when I saw the headline and looked at the story, listened to the audio. Went back, I'm like, where the heck is this? I don't hear the accent. Is it jolly old England? Are we talking about France here, Germany, perhaps somewhere in Asia? No, it's in Florida.
Yeah.
He dug up a World War II military old ordnance bomb, just almost kind of like something you're picturing in your head. I'm looking at the photo of it right now, and weighed about 10 pounds, about a foot long. They believe it weighed about 10 pounds, and a fully active bomb when it was dropped. I don't know how these things age over the years, but putting it down gently, the key word there, they brought in the bomb squad and they got it out of there. And then I started doing some digging. I'm like, why would you find a bomb in your backyard in Florida? I know they did a lot of training down there during World War II. The Air Force had bomb testing areas out in the Panhandle. In fact, on August 11th, 1944, a very tragic incident. They bombed someone's house, killed 4 people of a five-member family.
Oh my God!
And they got a big payout. And as you might imagine, even back then when you didn't, don't bother suing. We know there's no precedent for this here in the United States, but we're going to give you a crap ton of money. And but it happened out in the Cossons. Cossons, their house. They heard planes flying over, which was quite common back in the day, and then they heard the whistle and thought that seemed odd.
Oh my God.
Nailed the house.
4 out of 5 Cossons agree. That was a bad day.
It was a bad day.
But was the car okay?
The car was just fine,
Okay.
It turns out. It was a Studebaker.
Oh, well, thank God, because
they hold up, right?
I mean, I'm asking because over half Americans think of their car as a member of the family, part of the family.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I remember when people would be like, do you think of your dog as part of the family? That used to be a question. And, of course, the answer is, well, of course. But now, over half of Americans say the car is a part of a family.
Well, not like you celebrate its birthday necessarily, but I tell you what, I'd rather my kid get a little sick than the car. And listen, the kid's going to be fine,
Sure.
Miss a day of school,
Kid's
get a little
got
loving.
the immune system just built in.
Right, exactly. The car, that's money.
Whereas I've got overactive diagnostics that keep telling me things are wrong when it doesn't seem to be.
It's expensive. It's
Hey,
expensive.
can you guys take $400 to tell me everything's okay? Great, thanks. Appreciate it. That's actually not not the case. No, my car now is great.
Right.
All sincerity, thank God for Minnetonka Ford, my good friends at Maury's. But I've had cars in the past where literally just like an indicator goes off and they call in and they're like, yeah, you probably ought to bring that by. And I'm like, geez, really? Okay, well, if it's got a computer in the car, it can't be wrong. And then at some point, somebody was like, dude, those things are set to pop at all times. Your car's fine. Think about the worst car you ever had, which is usually your first car. That thing drove like you couldn't kill it if you tried.
No.
It's simple. It's a slant 6. Just put the key in, turn it, and go.
Right. Probably still out there running somewhere. I do remember that little steering issue. You had to keep both hands on the wheel or one to take a sharp right turn into the ditch. But, you learn to live around those.
In this same poll where people said over half Americans say the car is part of the family, 53% said they would hang on to their current car forever if that was an option. Which I guess is a good thing. Like, you're happy with your car. Why change it? Yeah, but forever? I mean, come on. You got to change it up occasionally.
I don't have, maybe if I had, something, really cool, like an old Cuda or something like that, an old Chevelle or something like that. I'd want to keep that forever. But no, just your run-of-the-mill and, I don't know. I'm not that attached, but I know people that name them what are you going to name it? I just, had a little fender bender, so I'm driving a new vehicle these days. So I said, what are you going to name it? I'm like, I don't name my frickin' truck.
It's a truck.
Yeah, just A to B,
I had a buddy who was a car goof. I mean, he was just obsessed with cars, and he he got new cars all the time. And I've never done it. He was so offended once, and these were expensive cars, and he was kind of a douchebag about it. And it was just like, dude, yeah, whatever. Okay, congratulations. But I'm thrilled that you have a hobby or that you think this is great. But I could tell he was always a little puckered by my lack of excitement, and which is just odd. It's like, dude, if you're doing it to get me excited, good luck. I don't care. But one day, but he brought a car, and he was like, "You don't think?" The conversation went boom, 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 and this is what I finally said. Let me ask you a question: did you make this car? Did you put this car together? Did you design it and build it? And he goes, no. And I go, well, then get over it. You just bought something someone else designed and made. Mm-hmm. How excited about that do you plan to be? And I might as well have called his mother a whore. It was like a really bad moment in our relationship. And I was like, I'm so, great. I'm happy for you. But why do you think I'm going to get so excited? It's like saying, look at these shoes. Well, if you make a pair of shoes, honest to God, I'll spend an hour with you. Really? How'd you do that? How in the world do you know how to tan leather?
Right.
How do you know how to design an automobile? That's awesome. But going into a place and paying way too much money so you can feel good about yourself, I'm not going to get all excited about it. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. But, hey, we were just at the Donnie Smith Bike Show over the weekend, and I sat there and I'd be like, how in the hell? What is that? Well, I made that in my garage. I just had an idea. It was like kind of a dream. And so I woke up and I just started grinding on it, and I got some polymer fiber, and I took a DIY class online. I'm like, okay, that's badass.
That's badass, 100%. And it's not that I don't appreciate a beautiful car. I do.
Sure.
But there's a limit to how much I'm going to get carried away. Same with those motorcycles. But yes, at that bike show, there were a few custom jobs where you and I are standing there, and I was just like, holy crap.
What's that do?
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I totally get that. I tell you one thing I love about cars is when they're paid for.
That is nice. I haven't pulled that one off yet.
That last car payment, man, that is the best, because then it's like, this is a free damn car.
I know. It's kind of like getting out of jail.
It's extra innings in baseball. Just free baseball.
or extra innings in baseball. That was the analogy I wanted.
Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah.
A dude in Indiana is a big fan of his car. He's 20 years old, and his name is Michael Stancato. And why am I mentioning this? Well, he got pulled over. He has a Ford Mustang. Real excited about it. He's from a town called Fishers, which is right outside of Indianapolis. And my son, who's a college student in the state of Indiana, will tell you, never trust anyone from Fishers. I don't know what that means, but he's got a bug up his ass about Fishers, Indiana. Truly, I kid you not.
Very well earned. I mean,
there's a thing about Fishers. He's like, everybody I've ever met from that place can suck it. Anyway, this 20-year-old kid from Fishers got arrested at Indianapolis. He was driving. A cop, a state trooper, noticed him speeding. No question about me. He was flying well over 100 miles an hour. There's a high-speed chase. Dude finally pulls over. He pulled over after he hit a curb. He then jumped out of his car, had to be wrestled to the ground and tased. Okay, so he was not interested in going away. The cops had him in custody, and then he started bragging to the officers. You don't know nothing. Before you saw me, this is what he said, before you saw me, I was doing 170.
Yeah, that young man doesn't know you can make it worse.
Yeah, you can make it a lot worse. Bragging about having hit 170 is not my idea of step one after you get arrested for doing 100.
Turns out they do a lot of paperwork, and one of the things they do is the police report is they fill out all the things that you say, like bragging about it. You know who gets to look at that? In addition to your lawyer, because you're going to need one going 170, is the judge. Yeah, judges, they get chips on their shoulders about people that think it's cool to go 170 and brag about it.
Can you imagine being a judge where you spend your whole life in front of people, and at least once a day, one of those people's like, I know I can outsmart this guy. Like at least once a day, somebody's like, this guy's never heard this excuse. Or this guy will totally believe. And you're just sitting there. You got a black robe on, probably not wearing pants underneath it. You don't care. You're just going with like a nice loose boxer, maybe a Devo T-shirt under that robe. And you're like, and this guy's like, well, Judge, you see, you have to understand all the extenuating circumstances. And you just check out and realize you're going to fine him and let him. Yeah. That part of it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Or you think you're gonna sob story your way out of this one with a person sitting up there that's literally heard it all and it's damn jaded. Yeah, no, he's just you're in their world. Shut your mouth.
He's wearing leather chaps and lederhosen together under that robe, and you think you're going to get him to feel bad for you?
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, ma'am.
That guy's working through the kinks in a way you can't begin to imagine. I don't know. It's just some judges listening. What the hell's that guy talking about?
You're out of order.
Yeah, I got you figured out, bub. You watch yourself. I have limited experience with actual judges, but all of them very memorable. I can assure you that. I had a judge look at me. I was a witness in an attempted murder trial when I was a senior in high school. True story. Crazy long story, but in the middle of my I'm in the stand. I'm literally saying, I saw that man try to kill that man with a tire iron. This is totally true. And at some point in my testimony, I got a little heated. The defendant's attorney called me a liar, and I was like, "Oh,
trying to break you."
Yeah, and I was like, I got pretty hot in the collar, and the judge, who I knew from church, hey, Mr. Rourke. Judge Rourke, it's kind of weird, small town living. Like, hey, I know the judge. I see him every Sunday. He kind of looked over at me, and I looked at him, and I figured he'd be like, "You're right, young Mr. Gorman. This trial is over, and that man's going to prison for life." I thought I'd
give you a wink.
Yeah, he just kind of leaned over towards me. He goes, "Take a deep breath there, bud." Oh, okay. Sorry, Judge. I thought for a minute I was about to rewrite Kentucky law, and he just basically looked at me and was like, "Pump the brakes, kid. It's just Tuesday where I come from." Okay, fair enough. I got you.
Yeah, that's heavy. I've never been in for anything like that, man. It was just all yes, sir, no, sir. And then you look at your lawyer and go, well, what did he say? Get your stuff and get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I had two. My senior year, I was in front of a judge twice. Well, once I was in front of a judge. I was fighting a traffic ticket because you do that when you're 17. I'll put the system on trial. It didn't work out for me. The cop who gave me the ticket didn't even remember. He remembered nothing about the incident, and I still couldn't get the thing thrown out. Yeah. And then the next time was this trial, and forget that, man. That was That was heavy stuff. By the way, an attempted murder trial lasted 1 day. Small town court. 1 day, in and out, bing, bang, boom.
Wow, that's
what happened to the guy.
What happened to the guy was it was about to be third strike. He was a twice convicted felon who had just gotten out of prison when he did this, and he was not fully convicted. It was a hung jury, and the judge said, now you're really in trouble if you do anything wrong again. They couldn't decide. And by the way, the reason I wasn't there when the verdict was read, I left court to go play in the district basketball tournament.
Yeah.
The stuff you endure at 17, if you asked me to sit through a trial and then go do anything at my age now, I'd be like, I can't do all that in 1 day. I would have to process and think, and I would need a nap, frankly. And back then, no, all day in court, get up on the witness stand for like 2 hours and just get grilled and called a liar and freak out and yell and then lace them up and play Fort Campbell that night.
I was just going to say,
final basketball game of my career.
Oh, my God. I would have had a hard time even getting anything done in court. I would have been just nothing but thinking about the big ball game coming up. But, yeah, he did it. Sure. Let's go. Cha-cha.
Hey, what are you going to do? Life in high school. You get a lot done back in the day. When you're 17, those days last a long time.
Energy.
Yeah, Hey, made all district. I went down swinging.
Atta boy.
Got that going for me. As long as you're talking about sports history, let's do it for real. How about a look back?
I like to learn new things.
Yeah, me too.
You may begin now. Hey, Steve.
On this day, March 27th, 1902, the Chicago Daily News, for the first time, referred to the National League baseball team in town as the Cubs. They weren't officially called that. The paper just referred to them as the Chicago Cubs. Prior to that, the team had been known as the Remnants, the Colts, the White Stockings, and my favorite, the Orphans.
Who the hell got that one through?
Sad.
The Chicago Orphans.
Yeah, that was like the owner's wife. All right, I guess we're going to call them the Orphans. She caught me with my hand in the cookie jar. We're going with orphans to, raise awareness or something.
I don't know, man. That's pretty weird.
Orphans.
I mean, if you're going to sign for a team called the Orphans, please read the fine print on that contract. You're not really sure what you're... But that was not unusual at the time. The Red Sox, before calling themselves the Red Sox, were also known as the Boston Pilgrims, the Americans, the Plymouth Rocks, the Bean Eaters, and the Somersets before coming down to the Red Sox. Go figure. On this day in 1998, for the last time in a regular season game, Michael Jordan played with his Chicago Bulls against the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta. I was at that game, as were 62,000 other people, because they put that game in the Georgia Dome, a regular season NBA game. Everybody assuming it would be Michael Jordan's last time to the ATL. They were right, at least as a member of the Bulls. And 62,000 people went. By the way, 8,000 of those people couldn't see the court from their seat. That's how big Michael Jordan was. Yeah. And that's why my son wants to argue with me about who's greater, LeBron or MJ. 8,000 people ain't going to a stadium to not see LeBron James play basketball. There is your answer for who's the GOAT right now.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.